the voice of Jamaica.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 4 minutes after 9.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. You are here inside the Consumer Hour on this here Friday, September 6, 2024. We are alive and well, and for that we give God thanks. Good morning to you. If you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9 on your FM dial, we do appreciate you who join us on the radio each and every day. Thank you so much for your support. For those of you who are listening and watching on our YouTube channel, good morning to you. The channel is Nationwide 90 FM Live. That's Nationwide 90 FM LIVE, all caps. That's where you can find us on the YouTube platform. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Join the NNN YouTube family, and it's always lively discussion happening in the YouTube chat. And I must say at this point, we can describe them as a family over there on YouTube. Let me see who is there this morning. Sharon Atkinson is over there on YouTube. Good morning to you, Sharon. Errol Townsend, good morning to you. Yvonne Go, good morning to you. Sharifa Griffiths, good morning, Sharifa. Albert Morgan, good morning. Anne Marie's there as well. Good morning. Keon Allen, good morning to you. Merlene Fid, good morning to you as well. Let me see who else is there. Azalea Gordon, first time seeing that name. Good morning to you. All the others over there on YouTube, good morning to you as well. If you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9, I said that already. Good morning to you. Listening on our mobile app, good morning to you. If the app is available for free on the Google Play and the Apple App Store, and those on our website, the Listen Now option there. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for making it Nationwide 90 FM. And I'm live over there on TikTok. So good morning to all of the peeps over there on my TikTok Live. I'm on TikTok. It's Nora GB, NORAGEEBEE on TikTok. All right. So this morning, it's Friday, so you know our usual guests on Friday is JPS. So we have JPS Cares. All right, so inside JPS Cares this morning, we will be joined by Ruthlane Johnson, the Customer Service Area Manager for the East. Good morning to you, Ruthlane.
Good morning, Nora. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good as well.
You are good. You are good. And I would assume that you would have a little less work to do right now since the country, well, most of the country has been restored.
Basically all.
Okay.
You might find one person here and there. I must confess, from my parishes, I've not had any reports that has come to me since Monday.
Okay.
Since Monday, I've not gotten any for Kingston, St. Andrew, or St. Thomas.
Okay, so JPS has done their work as it relates to restoring the electricity, so you guys have a little less work to do. I saw a release on your Instagram page. I believe it was yesterday. I believe there was an accident somewhere. I'm forgetting where it happened now. But the poles seem to have been affected there, and I guess it was causing some outage. I don't know if that area is restored as yet. I'm not remembering the area right now. But it's a motor vehicle
actually
accident.
don't know
Right, yeah.
either, because
I saw it
yesterday I
on
was
your
totally-
Facebook, sorry, not Facebook, Instagram page, where a motor vehicle seemed to have collided with the
And that's
pole.
all.
Yeah.
And that's something we have to appeal to our customers, our citizens, not to have accidents at all.
Yes, indeed. All right. So
Yeah.
we are joining you this morning, and I understand that you will be doing some
That is giveaway day.
back to school giveaways. JPS is giving back today, and of course, guys, if you have JPS issues, don't shy away though, because we are taking those for the rest of the program as well, but we are doing some giveaways in the initial minutes of the program. So you can go ahead, Ruthlyn, let's know what we're giving away, and who will be giving them away to.
Who we're giving them away to? We're giving them to anybody who calls or writes on your YouTube page. Anybody who can answer the questions I have, that's who will get them. It's giveaway time because, of course, it's back to school. We understand that many persons need a little extra help to get themselves all sorted. So even though school has re-engaged since Monday, we know that there are some persons who might not yet be totally up to par in terms of having everything that they need to send the children back to school. And so what we're doing is trying to assist in some way. And we've been doing this all across the island, but to be honest, mostly in St. Elizabeth, where they had the most damage from the hurricane. So we've been in St. Elizabeth doing a number of things. We have been doing collaborations with the hardware stores for those persons who are rebuilding. We've been doing back to school giveaways fairs, where we've been giving out packages, knapsacks, books, all the supplies you need to go back to school. And we've just been going all around to ensure that persons can get a little reprieve and a little relief from some of, the issues that come with back to school expenditure.
Right.
So we also want to bring it to the team here and to our customers who may be listening online or listening by air. We want to make sure that they can be a part of this mix. And so we want to offer some stuff to them as well. I have vouchers from... Let me go down the list. I have vouchers from Kingston Bookshop, Gangsters Bookstore, Brian's Bookstore, Payless, you know what they sell at Payless, Amar's, Fontana, Azan's, and Maxi Department Store. That's where they can come from. So when I ask the questions, whoever we get, they can tell me if they win, which one of them they want.
All
Just repeat them. Kingston Bookshop, Gangsters, Brian's, Payless, Amar's, Fontana, Azans, and the Maxi Department Store, just so that they can, recall where these vouchers come from, so they can tell us which one they want if they win.
All right.
So we're ready to get started?
Yes, let me just remind the listeners of the numbers to call. The numbers 876-630-9371, and that goes up to 4. So it's 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and you can also try our digital line 618-8255. And just before we go to the phone lines, I am now seeing the update. It's actually on Mountain View Avenue, Ruthlyn, where a vehicle crashed into the pole, and I'm not seeing any further update to say that power was restored. But yes, this was yesterday, posted yesterday on JPS's Instagram page. So I'm not sure if those who are living along Mountain View, along that section, have been restored as yet. We have a caller on the line, but I believe we should just take this break and then come back with Dwayne, who is on the phone lines.
Outperform, outlast. Hilti. We top performance. Hilti. Hilti. Jackama. Reliable. Full stop. Not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilti. Available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Decorate and redecorate your space with water-resistant, colorful, and fast-drying paints from Edgechem Paints. The time by Edgechem Paints, changing lives 1 gallon at a time is...
It's 9:15.
Catch the E-Zone with me, the Stinger Honeybee, alongside
Kareem Boy thing.
as we turn up the heat in the street.
New show.
New vibes.
Same us.
Same us.
Monday to Friday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
We'll bring you entertainment news.
We'll take away your Monday blues.
You don't want to miss a week with us.
We'll talk health.
Well,
jump into the mix.
or the hot seat.
Don't miss the brain buster.
Or the crazy giveaways.
I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bugger thing.
Ow.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. It's JPS Cures this morning. We're joined by Ruth Lynn Johnson. She is the Customer Service Area Manager for the Eastern Region. And we are doing some giveaways this morning. Ruth Lynn has vouchers from Kingston Bookshop, Sangsters, Brand's Bookstore, Maxi Department Store, Payless, and am I missing one? Azan Supercenter. So if you want a voucher, you can call and answer the question. Hopefully you get it right and you'll be able to choose which voucher you want. Just before we go to Dwayne on the phone line, I on my TikTok live, someone who lives in the Mountain View area is saying yes, power has been restored. It went away from about 10 or 11 in the morning yesterday and came back at 9 p.m. So power has been restored to Mountain View. All right. So we go to the phone lines now. Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dwayne.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
That's great as you.
Do you have the phone on speaker, Dwayne? Because you sound a bit distant from the phone.
So I'm a bit off.
Yeah, you're sounding like you're some.
Hello?
Or do you have the phone on speaker, Dwayne?
It's better now?
Or are you using a headset?
No, I'm using my headset.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ruth Lynn.
All right. Morning, Dwayne.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great, giving God thanks for another day.
All right. I have a simple question for you.
Yeah.
I want you to call out the name of the teacher who has had the biggest impact on your life when you were growing up, going to school. And I want you to tell us why, what is it about that teacher, what she did that had that impact on you?
Well, I used to attend a school in Manchester. It was a Bethany all-age school.
Mm-hmm.
I have a teacher, her name was Miss Emden. And the reason why she impressed upon me so much is that she could be teaching you. She will be marking the work.
Mm-hmm.
She will have one person on the left, one person on the right. And while she is doing that, she has somebody reading. And if you miss a punctuation mark, she will identify it. On the left, you are doing something on the board, and you can identify while marking the book, the blank at the same time.
So
I was saying, wow. I remember she used to eat a lot of sweeties at the same time. And she also, I just don't know how she do it. But I tell you, that stands out. And I think that I got a little of that because I think that I have a kind of photographical memory of things.
Okay.
And she was my teacher in grade 5. I don't forget her. Her name was Miss Emden, the Bethany School in Manchester. She made an impression on me.
All right, thank you. So I'm happy to hear that, she had that impact on you, and now you're a multitasker. And
Yes.
you're a man for detail, even though you might be doing a number of things at the same time.
Absolutely.
All right. So big up to Miss Enden. All right. So what do you want for telling us that really interesting story about how the teacher impacted you? Which one of the vouchers do you want? So easy it is to win today. Which one do you want? Kingston Bookshop, Sangsters, Brian's, Payless, Amars, Fontana, Azans, and Maxi Department Store.
Give me Fontana.
Fontana?
You want something from Fontana.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So Dwayne, you stay on the line and give the producer your information, your name, your contact number, so that we will let you know how you can get your voucher from JPS. All right?
Thank you, man.
All right, no problem. Stay on the line. Who else do we have on the phone lines? Tasha. Good morning, Tasha.
Good morning, Auntie Nora. Morning.
Tasha, you know, say, is only people who when I go to camp and I serve as a camp counselor, is them alone call me Auntie Nora, you know? So when you call me Auntie Nora now, it sounds weird. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Tasha.
Good morning, Tasha.
Morning, Auntie Ruthlin.
Auntie Ruthlin, okay. Well, I get lots of Auntie Ruthlin, so I'm used to it. All right. Tasha, for you, your question is, and this one is very easy also. I want to hear what your wish for our children who are going back to school this year. What is the wish you have for them?
My wish for the children who are going back to school this year is I was God's guidance and protection over them. I have a 5-year-old who is gone out as well, and when she leaves in the morning, you know, my heart breaks because I don't know what they are encountering out there. So my wish for them mostly is God's guidance and protection, and they will just settle down and learn as much as possible so that they can achieve their goals.
Right.
But my most wish for them
wonderful. No, what do you think about that?
Amazing.
Come on, Tasha, tell us what you want for that wonderful wish that you have just sent out to the universe for our children.
Or for the child.
Pardon? What you want?
Is it the gift for me or for the child?
It's preferably for the child, but I mean, if you don't have a child, then the gift is for you.
I have a 5-year-old, but I would well, basically, she has everything to go back to school, but I would want to give it to my friend who don't have everything. Well, I've gotten everything back here for her child, so I would want to give it.
So which one do you want then?
So I would take the Payless voucher for my friend.
You want the Payless voucher? All right. Nice.
All right. Stay on the line, Tasha.
Thank you.
And talk to the producer. Give her your information. Who else do we have on the phone lines?
Remember, you're online people, Nora.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. You two of them would have beat me. All right. Let's do. Can we do 2 for the YouTube in the meantime?
Then for online. So the first one, if you could teach any subject, what would it be and why?
All right. Simple
stuff. If you
stuff.
could teach any subject, what would it be and why?
All right.
So that's one. The next one is, if you could invent a new school supply, what would it be and why? Supply meaning the tools that students need to function at school. You know, you have pen, pencil, ruler, geometry set, whatever. If you could invent a new one, what would that new school supply be for our children, and why would you invent that new school supply?
All right. 2 questions.
So those 2 questions for the online people.
Or YouTubers. If you could be a school teacher, which subject would you
teach?
If
you could teach any subject.
Oh, yes, which subject would you teach and why? And if you could invent a new school supply, a new tool for the students to use, which one would you invent
and why? That one?
Angela Greaves.
People are coming through already?
I am seeing an answer on YouTube as it relates to the subject area. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is a subject area here in Jamaica, But I'm gonna go ahead with Angela Greaves. I guess she would implement this subject area in school. She says sex education, and
Sex
she
education?
would teach
I
that
think
so
that falls
that.
under guidance and counseling.
Yes, it is under.
Right.
It's not a subject by itself, but you learn a bit of that in guidance class. And she says she would teach that so the children can be more aware. And I would give it to Angela Greaves because I think that is necessary as well.
I think it's very important as well. All right,
Absolutely.
so she needs to write. Okay, what they could do is write, you put your at the same time, just tell which one you want, so we know what you want.
Okay.
So because we need to know from Andrea, is it?
Angela.
We
Yeah.
need to know what is it that she wants. Which one of the vouchers would she like to get?
All right. So Angela Greaves, just tell us which one you want, and I'm looking for the other answer. I'm seeing everybody answering the subject question.
You can.
All right.
How many we've given away so far? 2 and 1, 3.
3.
You can take another one.
All right. So let me see the next person who is telling me which subject area they would teach. So after Angela, I am seeing Shauna. Shauna Brown says English language because I like to impart that language to others. I'd like to impart that language to others.
Okay.
All right. So Shauna, tell us which one you want, and Angela, tell us which one of the vouchers you want, so that we can put those aside for you. We have another caller on the line in the meantime. Angela says Azan, so we'll put the Azan voucher aside for Angela.
Lovely.
And Shauna Brown, please tell us which one you want. In the meantime, let's go back to the phone lines. Who do we have? Who do we have on the phone lines?
Hi, morning. This is Camille.
Hi, Camille.
Hi,
good morning.
Camille. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Ruthlin.
How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, Camille. How long now since you leave school?
Oh, Lord. Why are you doing that?
No, man. Because I have a question for you that's going to require that you go way back into your, into the brain and call a brain cell from quite a way back, eh?
Which school? Which one?
I'm
Which
probably
level?
going as far back as primary school.
Oh, Lord. I left in 97. That's a long time.
That's a long time. That was just the other day. So this one, I want you to repeat. You know those things that we used to call memory gem when we were going to school?
Oh, okay.
Yes, man. I want.
Let me see if I remember one. Oh, Lord. Why you do this to me, Ruth? Oh, my God. Labor for learning before and silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay.
Wonderful, as this nowadays people would say, radam. I said, no.
A long time.
Right on spot. Yes, man. Labor for learning before you grow old. That's the one I was actually thinking of and hoping that's the one that the person would answer. Because it has such a strong message,
Yes.
A good education will never decay. We want our students to remember that. Anybody who is out there not valuing their education, they need to remember this is something that nobody can ever take from you.
Right.
And you can't learn too much, and you're never too old to learn either.
Never.
It's a constant learning journey that we're on. So thank you so much for that, Camille. Which one of these vouchers would you like to get?
The bookshop.
You want? So we have a number of bookshops. Which one? We have Sangsters, we have Kingston Bookshop, and Bryan's as well.
Sangsters.
You want the Sangsters Bookshop?
Yes,
okay.
please.
All right. So
And
you stay online, Nora?
yes, stay on the line.
Thank you very much.
No problem,
Most
Camille.
welcome.
You take care. And I'm seeing Shauna Brown saying that she wants the Payless. Do we have another Payless?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Shauna Brown, you stay on the line. Not stay on the line. You need to give us your information, Shauna, because you are on YouTube. So, Shauna, you need to call us at 630-1210 and let them know that you want a voucher on this show, and we can get your information from there. So Shauna and Angela, we're going to need you to call 630-1210. Let them know you want a voucher on the Consumer Hour show, and so that we can get your information and give it to JPS so that they can sort out your voucher for you. All right. Can we take one more?
One more call.
Do we have another call on the line? No? Yes? Shireen? All right, let's just take Shireen and we wrap up here. Shireen, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Shireen.
Hi, Ruthie. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
John, if you can think of it quickly, what is the most interesting thing you recall that you've learned in school?
The most interesting.
What has resonated with you, that stayed with you? It's the most interesting thing you think that you've learned. It's probably guiding the way you operate as an adult.
See the truth and teach it ever. Cause it will. He who ran the wrong he did does the wrong thing still.
Is memory gem time coming up now?
Yes, it has been something that walked with me from grade 1 from primary school until this day.
And you live by the truth.
I live by the truth.
Even if it's gonna mean you get a whipping or
a whipping. Mommy always said to me that once I do something wrong, she knows because I'm going to speak the truth. So
nice. And I hope you've passed on that value to your children as well.
I have. I always tell them, tell me the truth, because once you tell me the truth, maybe you won't get the slapping, but once I find out it is a lie,
problem. All right, thank you so much.
Thank
you. Which voucher do you want?
A Fontana.
You want a Fontana voucher, all right. Thanks.
All right, Shireen, stay on the line.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Ruth.
No problem.
You're
Shireen.
most welcome. Nora, just check back quickly. If anybody responded to the other one, if you want to.
Let me see. Yes, I did see a response to the other one quickly on YouTube. Somebody said something about a remote pen. Hold on, let me just scroll back to see, because I did see a response to that question. Let me go slowly so that I can see it. I would invent, yes, Herman Dawkins says, I would invent remote pens and pencils since our students lose them so much. But I don't understand how it works. I'd
love to know how it works, yes.
How it work? How the remote pen and the pencil work? Tell us.
No, but maybe she'll tell us. But tell you what, we're going to give it to her just for thinking, being innovative in her thought process.
So
maybe she can tell us how they'll work later on.
All right.
Or maybe she can write it. When she tells you what voucher she wants, tell her to write and say how they would work.
All right, no problem. So Herman, just let us know which voucher you want, and please note that you have to call us so that we can get your contact number and other details. So Herman, Angela, and Shauna, you need to call 630-1210 and let them know that you won a voucher on Nationwide on this show, and we will get your information from there on. All right, Ruthlyn, I want to know when I am going to answer my question to get my voucher.
Let me see if I have a question for you, Nora. All right, so let me tell you what you're gonna get to do, Nora. We're gonna end. You are going to say the prayer for the children for this year.
All right, can I say the prayer after the break, because my tech up is staring into my soul?
Right. But you're gonna say it when I'm off.
Yes, because you will have to go.
All right.
But thank you so much, Ruthlyn.
You're most welcome.
Yes.
Have a good day.
Indeed. I will say the prayer when we come back.
All right.
All right.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is...
It's 9:33.
Books, bags, and winning is what back to school is made of. Start your school year winning with JMMB Money Transfer and collect your share of the $250,000 cash prize plus $200,000 in Sangster's book vouchers. Send and receive your RIA, MoneyGram, Zoom, and Remitly remittances the fast, reliable, and convenient way. Visit jm.jmmb.com/money-transfer for details on how to enter and win. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
It's back to school time again, and KB is making things easy. Shop online, in-store, or via WhatsApp at 876-788-1405 for a chance to win $150,000 cash, a laptop, or a tablet. And it doesn't end there. KB is making everything easy. Pick up in-store or shop online today. Promotion runs from July 15th to September 7th, 2024. Easy, that's the KB difference.
Discover something new. Discover the KB difference.
Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. It's JPS Cares this morning. We just wrapped up our session with Ruthlyn Johnson. She's the Customer Service Area Manager for the East. We did some giveaways just now of Kingston Bookshop, Sangsters, Brian's Bookstore, Payless, Azans, Amar's, Fontana Pharmacy vouchers to some of our listeners and viewers on YouTube. And before Ruthlyn left, she tasked me with saying a prayer for the nation's children, and that I will do. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, mighty God. As we come before you now, we put before you the nation's children. We pray for your guidance and protection over them. We pray against any plan that the enemy has for them this school year. I pray against all types of school violence. I pray against all kidnappings, abductions, and killing of our children. I pray that you will guide them and protect them, and pray that they will be able to focus when they go to school and learn, which is what they are ultimately there to do. Thank you, Heavenly Father. In your name we pray. Amen. All right, that's the prayer for the nation's youth this morning. And we are going to continue taking your calls, because if you have any JPS related matters, you can give us a call, because we are taking those complaints and we will send them over to JPS. So if you have any JPS issues, especially JPS issues, and we'll take other calls if you have any other issues, but especially JPS, because today JPS is definitely listening. So if you have any of those matters, you can give us a call. The numbers to call: 876-630-9371 to 4. So that's 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255. Those are the numbers. If you have any JPS related matters, we are taking your calls this morning. And if you have any other matters, we will take them as well. Seeing amens running up in the chat. Amen and amen and amen indeed. We have to pray for our children. The last school year was one that where we heard a lot of school fightings and killings, children killing their schoolmates, and we don't want any of that this school year. So we pray for peace in our schools, and we pray for the Lord's protection indeed. All right, so we're going to jump over to the phone lines. Once again, the number is 630-9371 to 4-618-8255. Thomas, good morning to you.
Nora, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
What's up? All right, I'm calling Reid, the Portmore, around the Portmore runabout. The mall?
The roundabout at the mall, yes.
Trust me, the road is terrible right around the Portmore Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's when you around the mall where Master Mac is, they turn that road into a one-way.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to drive behind Power of Faith. No, there's no road. The road is paper toilet. They turn it into a one-way, but they don't fix the road. It's horrible. horrible.
So the
Horrible.
the area around the roundabout at the
Right
Portmore
around
Mall,
the Portmore Mall. Right around the mall.
horrible condition, and the area where else?
But, when you turn to go into the mall where Mother's is and Master Mac is, there's the turn that road into a one-way. So you can't come back out and to go around the mall. You have to turn behind Power Faith to come out to Mega Mart right there. That is a one-way. You have to go there. And it's fair pothole. The road not fixed at all, and they turn it into a one-way. They have to drive there.
Yeah. So first,
asking the relevant authority that is in charge of Portmore to do something about
yeah, man,
it.
we have to call out the mayor, man. We have to call out the
Mayor
mayor.
not doing a thing.
Oh, Mayor Leon Thomas. Mayor Leon Thomas. We have Thompson on the line here saying that you're absent. They're not feeling your presence, and the road in the town, right in front of Portmore Mall, that area that is always have traffic all the time, traversed heavily, is in a bad state. And going along Power of Faith, you said? Behind the Power of Faith.
Where they turn into a one-way that you have to drive to come out to Mega Mart there.
Okay. Mega Mart? Or must...
Drive there
it leads you to Mega Mart.
Right.
Okay. All right, so...
really to fix because you have to drive there to come out from the mall.
Mayor Leon Thomas, you have some roads in Portmore there that need some fixing. Maybe you can get some of that money announced by the Prime Minister under the REACH program. That money is for patching. I don't know if patchwork is good enough for those areas, or they will need
scrape off our region.
So that's so like the Spark program, and we don't hear when Spark starting yet. But I don't know if Mayor Leon Thomas have any money in the kitty that can fix up these roads in the meantime. Mayor Leon Thomas, you're being called out. The road in the town, Portmore, right where the mall is, and behind Power of Faith, that road that you've turned into a one-way, leading you to Mega Mart, in a deplorable state, and they need attention.
We need to know what are the plans to widen the roads in Portmore, because the traffic is horrible.
And
you can't reach home in the evening, you can't reach work in the morning. The traffic is horrible coming from Greater Portmore coming down.
And development in Portmore is happening very, very quickly. There are major stores throwing up locations in Portmore. A lot of people are living in Portmore, and people continue to move to Portmore. So you can imagine that there will be more traffic. More people mean more cars, mean more traffic. And I see roads in Portmore that have space for widening. I would think in my...
You don't have to acquire any land. The space is there.
In my amateur view...
about it.
Yes, my tech up is telling me about the 20 route. When I used to work in Portmore, I had to travel on that 20 route, and trust me, if you don't leave certain time in the evening, better you sit down and wait till night come when everybody gone, because the 20 route traffic go all the way out, and I am seeing where you can widen the 20 route road, because there's space on the side that wouldn't hinder anybody's business, I think.
Boulevard.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than can widen, and they're not doing anything about it.
Boy, Mayor Thomas, the people want to hear from you as it relates to the development of Portmore. It's happening quickly, but the roads, and the traffic pile up in Portmore is getting unbearable for the residents.
Prime Minister promised us a bridge leading off a Spanish Town Road over 2 years now. We don't see anything or hear anything about it to enter into Portmore.
A bridge off Spanish Town Road?
Off Spanish Town into Portmore.
Where would that bridge be?
I don't know, because I know off the I see where off the road that is heading to Maypen, that highway, there can be a road leading off of that road into Portmore now, onto the highway.
Spanish Town Road or Mandela?
Mandela.
Oh, okay. Okay,
yes.
A bridge.
Yes.
I see.
You were promised. I heard you said.
Maybe they've reconsidered. I don't know.
I said some young man came through, asking questions, filling up things, if a bridge is necessary, whatever.
Maybe the survey revealed that it may not have been necessary.
No. He promised that you will enter this side in the evening to go home, off Mandela. It's horrible, If you don't want to take the toll and you're trying to take the Mandela to reach home, it's like you can't reach home in the evening.
I see. All right. Well. Haven't heard anything about that bridge, but maybe later on we can check up and see if there has been any update. A lot of promises
been made and we're not seeing anything.
You're not so pleased at all. All right. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate your call. Yeah, man. We are calling on the mayor once more. The road right at the roundabout there where Portmore Mall is located, and the other road that you've turned into a one-way behind Power of Faith, leading you to Mega Mart there. Thompson, or caller just now, is saying they're in a deplorable state, and she would like to hear from you as it relates to the plans. And what are the plans to widen the roads in Portmore? Are there any plans to widen the roads in Portmore? We take a break and come back, and we'll take more of your calls.
Fill all your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is...
It's 9:45.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton, and we are taking your calls, especially if it's JPS related. If you have a JPS related matter, you can give us a call. If you are still without electricity, if you are one of those persons who is without electricity and you have been since the hurricane, and you're one of those persons who is one on the road in a one corner somewhere, please give us a call, because we would love to bring that to JPS's attention for you so that you can be back on the grid. All right, the numbers once again, 876-630-937124 and 618-8255. Ian is on the line. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Nora, and good morning to your listeners. This is a JPS matter.
Okay.
Yes, I listened you and
Ruthlin
last week,
talking
and breaking down how the light bill generates and how it goes on. But my problem is, I lose my service from the 3rd of July, and I didn't get it back until the 19th of August. But yet, I have a light bill from the 2nd of July to the 2nd of August for $26,565.
So you would have only had electricity for 1 day.
For 1 day.
In that cycle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So have you sent in your a report to query your bill?
We make a report to JPS.
Mm-hmm.
We make a report to OUR. All they said we should pay and the reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
But I my money in my pocket, I feel safer with it while JPS have my money.
And
because I just got to give away money that I don't owe.
Yes, and that's fair, because you don't want to have any trouble to get back your money.
That's the problem.
Right, but you already paid the bill.
No.
Or you haven't paid it.
No.
It's due.
Because
when was it due?
Report because it due. I think it was the 24th of August.
24th of August. Okay.
24th.
And have you tried to check back with OUR to see if there is any update on your case?
I don't get any update. I check back, but no update.
When did you check?
Sometime last week.
Okay, and they're saying what?
What they say, we should go back to JPS. We shouldn't call JPS just machine talking to us. Can't talk to machine. Because where will get from there? Because it's going to be a dialogue. There's no dialogue between you and a machine.
Oh,
you're going to say one standard thing.
Okay. And you haven't been able to speak to an agent?
No.
You've gone through the automated system and it hasn't led you to speak to an agent?
No.
I see. All right. Stay on the line. We'll give this one to JPS to see if they can go through your bill to see why your bill would have come to $26,000 if you only had electricity for 1 day. And we'll see what the issue was there. All right? Stay on the line. Speak to the producer and give her your information. We'll take your number and your account information and give it to JPS. All right?
Yeah, I'm saying something else. The thing about it, the bill that I actually use for rent is less than the one that I didn't use any.
I see. So they'll query that. They'll look at your bills and they'll see what the issue is. All right?
Oh, all right. Thanks.
All right. Stay on the line. Just getting some news here. News just in. The Christiana Moravian Primary School is currently on lockdown following fatal shooting of a man in front of the compound this morning. The deceased has been identified as Jerome Lambert. He had just dropped his 5-year-old stepdaughter off at school when the incident happened. So that's the Christiana Moravian Primary School in Manchester. No one locked down because of a shooting that took place, a fatal shooting. A man was shot and killed at the front of the compound. He just dropped his 5-year-old stepdaughter off and was killed moments after that. So just some news there. The Christian Moravian Primary School in Manchester. Christiana Moravian Primary School on lockdown now because of a fatal shooting that happened. Of course, more on that in our news at midday. Loy, our final caller, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Banton. How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Well, I'm giving God thanks, and I'm not too hearty, but I'm giving God thanks. Nora, I had a bill here from JPS. They sent me it on my phone, email it to me. Mm-hmm. And Nora, I have to send it off to Mr. Vard because I don't know what to do with $21,800. The light go away from the 2nd July.
No, from it go away before the hurricane?
Yes, because then take it away before the hurricane,
Oh.
Then take it away before the hurricane, although my cycle is the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
I still get the bill. I get one bill for August $20,000, Nora.
So your electricity was out from the 2nd of July to when?
On the 2nd of July, I'm get it back in the 3rd week.
August?
After I storm.
3 weeks after the storm, you got
After
back.
the storm,
So
yes.
in the end of July, you got back.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And my bill comes to 26,000, 21,000.
Your cycle is for when?
For the second.
To the when? To when?
Oh, you the cycle got me. Never know if I went to the 2nd of July, the 1st of July to the 2nd of
August?
August, yes.
So the 1st of July to the 2nd of August is your cycle. You are without electricity from July 2 to 3 weeks after, which is just about the last week of July. And you're saying your bill came to $20,000.
$21,800 and something dollar, Nora. You understand?
So you would have only had electricity within your cycle for just a week or so.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Oh boy. So you clearly see that something is wrong there.
Something is wrong there.
Have you paid the bill?
And I don't put in nothing new. So they can't put in something new in your yard when you don't have no light out when JPS done it. Tell me.
Have you paid the bill?
I pay a part of it, Nora. I pay $10,000,
Okay.
$12,000 always with my bill. I pay 10.
Okay. So your bill usually comes to about 12.
12,000. Wait, it always comes to 12,000. Yeah.
And this one time now you are without electricity for 3/4 of your cycle.
Yes.
You get a bill for $21,000.
21,000.
JPS, it not look good. I don't know what the reason is for this increased bill. Even with the other calculations and the new fuel rate, I don't think, because there was no consumption, I don't think this woman's bill could come to $21,000 for 1 week of light.
21,800.
When she normally
I can't believe it.
use the light for 1 whole month and it come to 12. So JPS, we have another one here for you. I'm going to ask you to stay on the line. We will send this information to Ruth Lynn and get some answers for you, okay? So please have your account number on hand as well. And if there's a different name on the account, you give us. All right. Okay, good. Stay on the line and give it to the producer. All right, that's all the time we have for the consumer hour. Just a couple things before we go. There are some persons who were informing us that the app was down. It should be back up now. We had some connectivity challenges there, but the app should be back up now, so you should be able to listen to us on our mobile app, available for free on the Google Play and the Apple App Store. All right, and also just want to give a message over to JPS, the residents of Stanmore Estate in the Red Hills area. They are thanking you for finally cutting the bush after months and months of asking you to come. There were some trees growing up into the power lines, and JPS finally came to remove those trees. Thank you, JPS, from the residents of Stanmore Estate in the Red Hills area. All right, that's all the time we have for the Consumer Hour this morning, and we are going to make way now for Cliff Hughes online with Tyrone Reid.
That was the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Sting and Honeybee alongside
Kareem Boy thing.
as we turn up the heat
in the street. New show.
New vibe.
Same us.
Same us.
Monday to Friday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
We'll bring you entertainment news.
We'll take away your Monday blues.
You don't want to miss a week with us.
We'll talk health.
Well,
jump into the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss the brain buster.
Or the crazy giveaways.
I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bug, I think.
Ow.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Teeth Ethics Jamaica, where your smile is our priority. Call us today to book an appointment at 876-946-0486-7 or visit us at Suite 6, the Village Plaza in Kingston, or Suite 4B, Rum Store Plaza in Morant Bay. The time by Teeth Ethics is
10 o'clock.
Cliff Hughes Online. Talk radio for all Jamaicans.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light, and I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock, like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255. Or find us on Facebook at Nationwide News Network and follow us on Twitter at Cliff Nationwide. You can also listen to Cliff Hughes Online live on the World Wide Web at nationwideradiojm.com or via the Nationwide 90 FM app on your mobile phone. Now, here's your host, Tyrone Reid.
Top of the morning to you. Welcome to this TGF edition of Cliff Hughes Online. If you're listening to us on the 90 FM band, a special good morning to you. The day ones, top of the morning to you. If you're listening to us via the NNN app, or if you're watching us on YouTube, top of the morning to you as well. It's, the old man is not here, so you have to put up with me on Fridays, that's the drill. But it's good to be with you. We have some heavy lifting to do, so let's get to work now.
Tyrone Says, what's on his mind? Unfiltered analysis and commentary.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock, like a rock. I was was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock.
Once again, thank you so much for staying with us right here on Selective Hughes. Again, this morning, with news that we've reported on, important news. Our news center understands that a special investigation report submitted to the House of Representatives in relation to Prime Minister Andrew Holness's uncertified statutory declarations. Prime Minister's declarations have been the subject of intense political debate for almost 3 years, if you can imagine that. I think that's acceptable. The Integrity Commission confirmed on Thursday that it has submitted 2 reports and their associated indicative rulings to Parliament for tabling. That's actually good to hear, so we can avoid another cock-up. Immediately sparking intense speculation, though, about the contents of the report. Nationwide's Siobhan Campbell. He tells us more.
Prime Minister Holness's statutory declarations have remained uncertified by the Integrity Commission since 2021. This has sparked relentless attacks by the opposition People's National Party on the Prime Minister. Opposition leader Mark Golding has repeatedly seized the opportunity to question the integrity of the Prime Minister due to the lack of certification. Throughout this period, the country's anti-corruption watchdog has been deafeningly silent on the matter. However, the Commission partially lifted its silence earlier this year with its annual report. It revealed that it was nearing the completion of the certification process for the Prime Minister's declarations. Today, the Integrity Commission disclosed that it has submitted to Parliament a report of investigation, an associated indicative ruling, and the full ruling from its Director of Corruption Prosecution. Additionally, a special report under Section 36(3) of the Integrity Commission Act, highlighting matters of urgent parliamentary interest, has also been submitted to the Parliament. Section 36(3) of the Act allows the Commission to present a report on any issue deemed deserving of special parliamentary attention. The Commission confirmed that these documents were officially received and signed for at Parliament at 11:42 Thursday morning. Hard copies of the investigation report were delivered in separate envelopes with identical letters addressed to Speaker of the House Juliet Holness, Senate President Tom Tavares Finson, and Clerk to the Houses of Parliament Colleen Lowe. Notably, the reports were also sent to Deputy Speaker of the House Heroy Clark. Submitting a copy to the Deputy Speaker is rare. The only other instance was in the case involving former House Speaker Marissa Dalrymple-Filbert. In September 2023, the Integrity Commission's Director of Investigations, Kevon Stevenson, referred Mrs. Dalrymple-Filbert to the Director of Corruption Prosecution for allegedly making false statements related to a vehicle purchased in 2015 that was not included in her statutory declarations for 2015 to 2021. Mrs. Dalrymple-Filbert has denied any wrongdoing, attributing the omission to a genuine error. With Parliament set to resume on September 17, the nation may be mere days away from hearing the findings of the IC about why it has not certified the Prime Minister's declarations. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
It's waited long enough. Thank you for the report, Siobhan Campbell. The country has waited long enough for this. There is absolutely no way, given the critical nature of the office of the Prime Minister and the reason behind these practices that we've established over years, the years of talking and dialoguing, and the push to fight against corruption in Jamaica, that this matter has taken so long to be addressed cannot be the model for the way forward. I offer nothing further on it because this matter is to be settled given the contents or decided upon as to where the country will go next with this issue when we hear what is contained in that ruling. Yeah, so I offer nothing further on that, but we look forward to it. Today is the 6th of September. Parliament set to resume on September 17, which means we still have a few more days to wait to bring some sort of closure to this matter. I really believe this matter has not been handled properly. It should not have been left hanging for so long. But let us await the ruling, the indicative ruling, and the details of the findings involving the declarations submitted by the Prime Minister. And then we'll see where we go from there. In the meantime, opposition leader and president of the People's National Party, Mark Goling, has completed the renunciation of his British citizenship. The PNP's General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, confirmed the development with our news center. Nationwide News also confirmed that two other prominent politicians caught up in the British dual citizenship saga have also completed the process of renunciation. The two are the JLP's presumptive candidate for the Northeast St. Anne by-election, that's Matthew Samuda, an opposition spokesman on finance and member of Parliament for Southeast St. Andrew, PNP's Julian Robinson. Here's Shaloy Smykel with the latest on that report.
Opposition leader Mark Golding came under intense scrutiny after it was revealed he held a dual allegiance to Britain and Jamaica. Although the Jamaican Constitution does not prohibit a Commonwealth citizen from serving in the House of Representatives or as a Prime Minister, a Blue Dot poll conducted in June revealed that 61% of Jamaicans believed Mr. Golding should renounce his British citizenship. Under mounting public pressure, the PNP president announced his intention to renounce his British citizenship. He made the announcement at a PNP meeting in late June.
Comrades, we have reached a point now where we have some data on the views of the public on this matter. And while I express my own view is on the way we ought to be going as a country in relation to this issue, I do not want my status to be something which could hold the party back, impact the party negatively, or any of our candidates who are on the road to victory in difficult seats which we're looking to win, to have any kind of disadvantage because of my status. So as a result of that, I have decided to take that issue off the table by renouncing my British.
Checks with the PNP Secretariat Thursday afternoon confirmed that Mr. Golding had completed the process. Similarly, his opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, confirmed to Nationwide this afternoon that he has received confirmation of his renunciation. Mr. Robinson says he has his certificate in hand. Nationwide News understands both Golding and Robinson started the process of renunciation at the same time. Meanwhile, JLP presumptive candidate for the Northeast St. Anne by-election, Matthew Samuda, has confirmed he's done all that is required of him to renounce his British citizenship. Matthew Samuda disclosed last May that he'd started the process. In a statement to Nationwide News on Wednesday, the former cabinet minister and senator revealed that he is no longer the holder of a British passport. Mr. Samuda says he received confirmation that he's submitted the requisite documents and is now awaiting the certificate from the British Home Office. Samuda recently stepped down from both the cabinet and the Senate to vie for the seat in the September 30 by-election. Shaloy Smykel for Nationwide News.
Thank you very much for that report there, Shaloy. In the meantime, social commentator Sanjay Roden and Lloyd B. Smith weighed in on the matter. Lloyd B. Smith, for his part, told us that he's disappointed that parliamentarians had to be pressured by the public to renounce their dual citizenship. His comment follows Nationwide's report on Thursday, which revealed that opposition leader Mark Golding officially renounced his British citizenship. The two other politicians, Matthew Samuda of the JLP and Julian Robinson of the PNP, have also completed the process, as you heard earlier in that report from Shaloy Smykel. But Mr. Smith says he doesn't believe their delayed decision, the dithering, on this dual citizenship matter. Yes? The dithering when it came to cutting the ties up front will affect the outcome of the upcoming general elections.
The converse would have been true that if any of these gentlemen had continued to hold the British decision, then certainly their opponents would use it as fodder against them. But, otherwise, I don't think it's going to have much sway in terms of whichever way the political winds go. It's unfortunate that, the country has had to wait this long for them to make the decision as against their having taken the decision on their own, because what it comes across is that they were forced to make the decision, which does not speak well to the integrity of our politicians in terms of how they deal with our democratic process.
Strong words there, some say fighting words there from Lloyd B. Smith, former parliamentarian himself. He went on to say that in a sovereign state like Jamaica, anyone seeking to represent the people should pledge allegiance solely to the country.
I think it would be foolhardy for any other member of parliament or senator to go that route in the future, seeing that, the Jamaican people are becoming more and more aware of these things, and especially now that we are moving towards becoming a republic. I doubt if it will continue to preoccupy the minds of the electorate. It is ironic that we have to be having this discussion when we are talking about Jamaica moving towards getting rid of the British monarch. One would have thought that in all of that process, everything would have been shoved through the window in terms of any vestiges of our colonial connections.
The voice there of Lloyd B. Smith, political commentator, speaking last evening on Nationwide at 5. Let's go to the break now, and then when we come back, I'll have a few comments on this. And we'll play for you what Sandra Roden also had to say on the matter. More after the break.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
My Mega
With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
On Sunday, August 11th, in the quiet community of Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon, our entire nation was shaken by a brutal act of violence.
Gangsters mercilessly took the lives of 8 innocent Jamaicans, including a 7-year-old boy and several women.
These criminals will strike again, destroying more families and more communities unless we stand together to stop them.
If you have any information that can help bring these killers to justice, please share it with the security forces.
The government has established a reward fund of $25 million for information leading to the arrest and charge of the perpetrators who committed this heinous act.
The facilitators who supplied them with arms, intelligence and transportation.
Those who harbor and protect these criminals after the crime.
If you know something, say something.
Call Crime Stop at 311 MOCA at 888-6622-847.
NIB at 811 or the JDN at 837-8888.
Together, we will defeat the gangs and develop a culture of peace in our country.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
Tyrone says what's on his mind. Unfiltered analysis and commentary.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. like a rock.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us right here inside the TJAF edition of Cliff Hughes Online. Cheers to the weekend when it comes. Yeah, I know it may have been a very long week for many of you. So I hope you do enjoy the weekend and get some rest. We're talking about the dual citizenship saga. We're giving you the latest on it. Of course, the actors involved have bowed out from the dual citizenship stage. They have renounced their dual citizenship. So Andre Roden, social commentator, let me give you his views, which are perhaps way more considered than mine. He says there still may be lingering concerns in the public domain about Mark Golding's loyalty to Jamaica.
I think the real impact would have been especially on the opposition leader because, you know, the conversation about constitutional reform, the idea that he is a presumptive leader if he were to win the next general elections, that really puts some questions around the opposition leader, especially. Now, when you look at the other two people, you have a cabinet minister, you know, one day could be prime minister, you have a shadow cabinet minister, presumptive future leader of the People's National Party as well. The question is loyalty, and especially in the case of the opposition leader, that question was a big question in the past couple of months, and the fact that it took public pressure, it leaves question marks about, you know, were these people really loyal to Jamaica in the first place?
Absolutely. J. Roden, social commentator. Absolutely on point with those remarks. Let me say this. We are in dialogue as a country, and that dialogue being led by our political leaders, elected leaders, about breaking ties with Britain. No one should tell any politician who has dual citizenship with the same country we are deliberating on about how to break ties with, that they should renounce the dual citizenship, that they have with that country. So quite frankly, I don't think Mark Golding handled the situation very well. The JP also came out of this with a black eye because they were piling on the political pressure on Mark Golding when one of their own in the cabinet, Matthew Samuda, was also a dual British citizen. You can't make these things up, you know. Sometimes you have to wonder who write these scripts. But what I take from all of this, more than anything else, is Mark Golding's initial handling of this, which I think, and I've said this before, rendered him ineligible to become Prime Minister of this country. Because Mark Golding, the People's National Party's president, and His Majesty's loyal opposition leader, wanted to take Jamaicans for a stroll when he was initially asked about this. And the way some sections of civil society were soft on how Mark Golding tried to steer the Jamaican people down a road when he was asked by the media. Because when the media is asking you these questions, it's not because they want to waste airtime or paper space. It's to inform the public. And Mark Golding was not fulsome at all with his responses. And the PNP and Mark Golding or his handlers put out videos with him flashing Jamaican passport. It is long after the public pressure began to pile on, let me remind you, that he eventually accepted that he was a dual citizen of the country that he has told Jamaicans publicly he's prepared to stay with unless the Holness administration decides to break ties with the Privy Council as the country's final appellate court. And nobody saw the conflict of interest in that. Or very few people, let me be more accurate. And civil society didn't want to take Mark Golding to task over it. His handling of the matter is absolutely unacceptable, and I still hold the view that rigmarole that he had the Jamaican people on should render him ineligible to become leader of this country. I still hold that view. Mark Golding had an opportunity to tell us the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and he did not do that. I want to turn my attention to a matter now that is happening down in St. James. The St. James High School is back in the news. And the school is led by Joseph Williams, who, based on these many reports, is proving to be quite the character. And the school is now embroiled in another ugly dispute, according to our reportage. This after 4 teachers were allegedly terminated from the institution without probable cause and due process. One of the teachers spoke with our news center on Wednesday. Here is Shalois Michael again with this report.
A few months after 2 students were expelled by Joseph Williams without due process, the embattled and controversial principal has again found himself in another case of dictatorial conduct in breach of the Education Code. This time involving the unlawful termination of 4 teachers just before the start of the new school year. One of the teachers, Tiana Taylor, told our news center that she received a termination letter on June 24. It says her tenure at St. James High would come to an end on August 31. Nationwide News obtained a copy of the letter. It noted that she was being terminated on the grounds of unsatisfactory performance evaluation. The letter was signed only by Principal Williams. But according to Ms. Taylor, she has not received an appraisal since she started teaching at the institution in September of last year. In fact, she says her head of department filled out her first evaluation form several days after she received the termination letter.
I did not do any. I reached out to my head of department for her to provide the hard copy of my appraisal, which would support what the letter was saying. A week after, she came to school and she said that she wanted to speak with me. So I promptly asked her for the hard copy of my evaluation. What she did, she took a blank evaluation form and said that I should complete it. And I looked at her and I said, no. She sat there and she completed one on spot.
Ms. Taylor says she was told to return to work on Monday by chairman of the institution, Christopher McCurdy, but she was stopped at the gate by the security.
I reached out to the chairperson because in the letter, he did not sign it. And he said that the letter is not valid because it wasn't signed by him. As a result of that, I should go back to work. I followed protocols. I did as I was told. On a Monday, I went to work and I asked my HOD for my timetable. And she reminded me of the letter that I have received. And so I did not receive any timetable. I went back to work yesterday. I had to accompany one of my colleagues to her class. Unfortunately, I went to work this morning and the security stopped us at the gate to say that there's a standing order against me.
The matter has since been reported to the Ministry of Education and the Jamaica Teachers Association. Several calls to Mr. Williams have gone unanswered. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Jamaica a real place. In real, I'm really asking the listeners and the viewers to help me with this one. I want to find out if Jamaica is a real place, or if the Ministry of Education is some fairy tale place in Never Land somewhere, something that is made up, because this cannot be real. I don't want to play the rap from on with the responses from the chairman of St. James High, that's Christopher McCurdy. I just want to play the clips. Yeah, I just want to play the clips, studio. So the chairman of the St. James High School now, Christopher McCurdy, says he's at his wit's end as to how to deal with the persistent breach of rules being reported at the institution. And of course, he was reacting to the alleged sacking of the 4 teachers at the institution by the principal, Joseph Williams. And if you were listening nationwide this morning, this week, when George and Tonna tackled this issue, and George made it clear and pointed to the regulations as to how teachers ought to be dismissed and the role the board has to play. I too am at my wit's end to understand what is happening at St. James High School. Yes? Now, when contacted and we spoke to the board chairman, Christopher McCurdy, he explained that he refused to sign the termination letters at the school, as the school did not provide any evidence, according to him, to support its claim of the teachers' poor performance.
I received that letter requesting my signature, and I said, well, I would need supporting documents for that, because while I can appreciate the fact that if you're not performing, there has to be a way how to fix that. I don't know if termination is the first order of business. However, I refused to sign those letters because I had no supporting documents. I did not have a copy of any evaluation or anything at all.
Now, he went on to say that the matter will be addressed by the board. I want to believe it.
I sent an email to the school requesting additional information on supporting documents so I could move the process forward. I think last week or thereabout, I received 1 or 2 of the evaluation, not the complete documents, but 1 or 2 of those evaluations. I noticed on the evaluation that the teachers who were evaluated did not sign on them. Usually, as part of the progressive disciplinary process, you would note, refuse to sign, get a witness. So that wasn't there. I did not see anything where there was a process of program put in place to sort of assist these teachers. The vice principal's signature is on here as the 27th of June, 2024, and the principal's signature is dated on the 27th of the 6th as well. The matter is to be brought before the board. There seems to be a problem with this particular institution as it relates to following procedures, and I think this is a well-documented fact. We have a problem where that is concerned, and as a board, we've tried several times to get that under control. I think everybody now is aware that there is a common problem at St. James High School as it relates to following procedures.
One of the board of the St. James High School, Christopher McCurdy. I do not find this funny, but as you know, there are studies that show that laughing as a response is not always because something is funny. This is a serious issue, which I want to address in full when we come back from the break. And of course, just to update that the efforts to contact Principal Joseph Williams proved futile initially, but he later informed our news center that he would not be addressing the matter. Yeah, but when we come back from the break, I'll give you my thoughts on this latest issue at the St. James High School.
Were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light.
At the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we are committed to the values of care, compassion, excellence in service, integrity, teamwork, and innovation as we work to safeguard the health of our nation. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
10:33.
Are you burning up with this summer heat? The place hot, man. Get cool now with a Hisense air conditioner. I feel good. With advanced energy-saving inverter technology and whisper quiet operation. Beat this heat with Hisense. Available at Aliabra Brands Limited, 64 Hagley Park Road, or call 876-676-5951 now.
So good. So good. I got you.
books, bags, and winning is what back to school is made of. Start your school year winning with JMMB Money Transfer and collect your share of the $250,000 cash prize plus $200,000 in Sangster's book vouchers. Send and receive your RIA, MoneyGram, Zoom, and Remitly remittances the fast, reliable, and convenient way. Visit jm.jmb.com/money-transfer for details on how to enter and win. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Tyrone says what's on his mind. Unfiltered analysis and commentary.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. The kerfuffle at the St. James High School. Let me just start off with some broader comments before I drill down into the details of this issue. It is a microcosm of a much larger malady afflicting the education system in this country. What do I mean by that? This is not the first time we're having issues with this particular principle. And we can't seem to fix it. And another broader, what am I saying? Another broader issue I want to highlight, that this matter underscores, is our inability to solve problems as a country. Believe me when I say this. And I mean this with the greatest of interest for our country. Our inability to solve problems should be studied by scientists. Absolutely should be studied. The current Prime Minister of this country says we suffer from an implementation deficit, which means that we have problems solving problems. I've listened to Christopher McCurdy, the chairman of the St. James High School. And I've listened to him detail the issues he's having and how the principal's wife is the PTA rep on the board. Joseph Williams ought to be fired. And if between Mr. McCurdy in the ministry, including the Minister of Education, they can't dismiss this principle, then all of them need to tender their resignations. If what the principal is being accused of here is so, he ought to be fired. The fact that he would fire 4 teachers without due process, without involving the board, if those allegations prove to be true, he should be fired. And if Favor Williams, our education minister, and Mr. McCurdy are not able to do this, both of them need to tender their resignation. If they can't help to engineer getting rid of this person who has done this thing, both of them need to leave the job as well. And that is my simple position on this matter. Imagine, the board has not signed off on the dismissal of teachers and they can't gain access to the school. The board chairman should take the police with him and escort those teachers back to their classrooms. We can't have individuals being a law unto themselves. At an institution where we're trying to frame young minds? How do we teach them to abide by rules and regulations when their principal is so very often being accused of breaking the rules? It makes absolutely no sense. It's untenable, and it should not be allowed to continue. It should not be allowed to continue. A stop must be placed to this now. Enough is enough at the St. James High School. Now, the last issue I want to comment on before we take your calls. The presumptive candidate for the Jamaica Labour Party in the Northeast St. Ann by-election, Matthew Samuda, he sought to defend the government's decision to call the by-election in Northeast St. Ann. The opposition People's National Party, PNP, says the decision by the Prime Minister to call only one by-election when there's been a year-long vacancy in one other constituency, plus another looming vacancy in another, come the end of October. And of course, I believe that's at Northwest St. Andrew, where Dr. Clark will make the seat vacant. I may have got the constituency wrong there. But I gather that is in reference to Dr. Clark's impending departure to the IMF. So the PNP is saying this is a sign of desperation on the part of the JLP. But speaking nationwide at 5 on Wednesday, Mr. Samuda rejected that reasoning.
I don't see it that way. Ultimately, political parties make decisions that lead to electoral victories. That's how our democracy is structured. It's a bit of a ridiculous assertion, quite frankly. The Prime Minister of Jamaica can call by-election at a time of his choosing. He's exercised that prerogative. He's reorganizing his government. He has said so. You'd have seen several changes take place over recent months, even some administrative. This is no different. We're in the process of reorganization, and this is just one of those steps.
There, Matthew Samuda, voting for the home team. Yes. Now, the presumptive candidate for the Northeast St. Ann by-election, Matthew Samuda, for those comments. I want to play for you now, though, comments offered by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on this matter. Southern Trelawney has been without a member of parliament since September last year, 1 year ago, following the resignation of then Speaker of the House of Representatives, Marissa Dalrymple Philibert, and of course she resigned as MP as well. And come the end of October, Northwest St. Andrew will also be without an MP as Dr. Nigel Clark will vacate the seat. When pressed for a date for those by-elections, the Prime Minister would only say this.
Can you give us a time frame as to when that will happen?
As they come due, they will be done. And I would say within months.
I want you to play that again for me.
Can you give us a time frame as to when that will happen?
As they come due, they will be done. And I would say within months.
The Prime Minister. On why Southern Trelawney and the residents there must wait a little more to have representation in Parliament. In the meantime, the PNP standard bearer in Northeast St. Ann, that's Dr. Ryan Simpson, says he supports his party's position not to contest the September 30 by-election.
I support wholeheartedly the position of the party. It baffles me that it appears to me that the senator and some Jamaican people would expect that we should, if an error or a bad judgment call was made in the past, we should justify by continuing in that error, so that, you know, the position that the People's National Party has taken today on principle that we would not contest a constituency election 1 year out from a general election because it is just not in the best interest of the taxpayer and the Jamaican people.
The President Mark Golding says the party will not contest any parliamentary by-election before the next general elections. Dr. Simpson is dismissing the suggestion that the PNP boycott of the election, rather, is due to its fear of a Samuda victory. According to Simpson, Samuda should be the one who is afraid of him.
If anyone is afraid, it has to be the Jamaican Labour Party. They know that Mr. Samuda could never face me on level ground, one-on-one, and win. Unless the only way Mr. Samuda would have beaten me is in my sleep with a piece of stick. And they know that. The moment I entered Northeast St. the campaign began, started to force the Member of Parliament to resign. This is not a surprise. We knew Marshall Smith was going to resign ultimately. They have been actively campaigning for the last year and a half. Mr. Samuda has been in Northeast St. pretending to be the Member of Parliament, although Northeast St. had an elected Member of Parliament for that time.
Dr. Ryan Simpson, the PNP standard bearer in Northeast St. Now, let me just be upfront here and say that both the PNP and the JP are playing politics with this issue. But the greatest sin here belongs to the Jamaica Labour Party. And I want to be clear on it. You don't hear me saying this often. We didn't play this clip, but Dr. Dayton Campbell, the General Secretary of the People's National Party, he doesn't help himself much whenever he opens his mouth to speak. But he is right on this issue. This is an abuse of the power that the Prime Minister has to call by-elections. And whether or not the PNP's decision to contest this is a political one is entirely up to the People's National Party to decide. And the Senator Abko Fitz-Henley and Matthew Samuda have both argued that the Prime Minister has the power to do it. But having the ability to wield power doesn't mean you are right when you do it. And the Prime Minister is wrong on this issue. Absolutely wrong on this issue. You can't have Jamaicans waiting for over a year. Or waiting for a year for political representation. And you decide to call a by-election in a constituency not very long after that MP stepped down. And then don't believe you've opened up yourself to be accused of being politically expedient. This is poor governance on the part of the Holness administration. Absolutely poor governance on the part of the Holness administration. And it does not augur well for democracy. A constituency remains without representation for a whole year, while another is to be given a new MP rather promptly. The Holness administration is peeing on our collective foot and telling us that it is raining. That is the textbook definition of being expedient to suit narrow partisan interests. And the Prime Minister should abandon this course of action. When asked about how much longer the residents of Southern Trelawney ought to wait in the coming months, the Prime Minister has lost the plot entirely on this one. It is absolutely unacceptable that he has declared a by-election so soon for Northeast St. Anne. Whatever the reasons are, and then the folks of Southern Trelawney should be made to wait. That is unacceptable. And it doesn't matter which side of the political divide you come down on. That can't be the recommended course of action. That's all I have to say this morning. We take the break, or we come back from the break. We take your calls.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Resolve your conflict peacefully with restorative justice. Call 876-906-4923. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
48.
Remember every dream where you have, remember everything where you plan.
With Jane Bank, anything possible. With a little savings in your hand. Save so you can build the house, buy the land. You have goals and dreams, make a plan. Save so you can.
Living your best life and making memories is priceless. But saving little by little is what makes it affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters. The go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works. Workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day. Challenge after challenge. You see, true power, it's not something you can buy or collect. It is something that starts on the inside, and you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snack Peanuts. Proud supporters of the powerful.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliff Hughes talking?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also, tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Cliff Hughes really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Staying with us inside this TGF Internet of Cliff Hughes Online. We're taking your calls now. Clyde, good morning. You're the first call online this morning.
Hello, good morning, Tyrone.
Good morning. How are you doing, Clyde?
Not too bad, not too bad. I heard an interview on Wednesday. I thought it was Tuesday, but somebody in YouTube confirmed that the interview was on Wednesday with Siobhan Campbell and his co-host. I forget the new man name. With Dr. Campbell. And I'm almost sure, Tyrone, that Dr. Campbell
through
Dr.
so well.
Campbell,
you know, I'm not hearing you so well. Can you just speak up a bit more for me?
Let me change my location. Your line is bad too.
Yes, sorry about that.
Are you hearing me any better?
Yes, I'm hearing you a tad better now. You can go ahead, Sir Clyde.
Right. The interview with Dr. Campbell and Siobhan and his co-host on Wednesday.
Yes.
I'm almost sure.
Sanjay Lewis is the name of our new host.
Right. I'm almost sure, almost 100% sure that Dr. Campbell hinted at the IC report on Wednesday, and the report came out on Thursday, yesterday. I beg you, Jamaica need to hear that I'm either wrong or right. If I'm hearing right, when he hinted that the IC report soon drop. And yesterday it was dropped. Question for Dr. Campbell, where he got his information from.
Conversation is what you say.
Hello?
Yes.
Your line is bad, Tyrone.
Yeah, again, there is some difficulty. But you're saying he hinted during that interview that I would have to go back to listen to the full interview. I didn't hear that.
Right. I'm begging you before the program is over, please hunt it and play it, make Jamaica here. And certainly Dr. Campbell will have some questions to answer.
Well, let's go back to confirm that is the case, no?
All right, sir. Good. Thank you for your time.
All right. I appreciate it, Sir Clyde. Have a good one.
All right. Good.
Top of the morning to you, Lady Michelle. You're up next. Good morning to you, Lady Michelle. We're not hearing Michelle. It seems we've lost Michelle there. Moon from the West. Good morning. You're up next.
Good morning.
Top of the morning to you, my brother. How are you?
Are you hearing me? I mean, I've been on your program for a while now. Are you hearing me good?
Loud and clear.
Hello? Hello?
Loud and clear. Yes, man. We're hearing you, man, from the West. Go ahead.
Right. I am no longer living in Jamaica, so it's very difficult to get on the program. You know?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
But international, and even now that I'm speaking to you there, it's not as clear, but I'm still hearing you. You know, I'm not in touch much about what's happening because I can't get through to connect to the radio system as frequently as I used to in Jamaica.
You haven't downloaded the NNN app?
The NNN app?
Yes.
I can see it on YouTube sometimes when I watch the TV.
No, but download the app, man. It gives you quick access as well.
And I can do that on my phone, right?
Yeah, man. Just go to if you have an iPhone, go to the Apple App Store. If you don't have an iPhone, you can go to the Google Play Store, and it's available in both.
But I hear that what's his name, Clark, is going to the IMF.
He's Deputy Managing Director. Yes, he is.
I mean, he couldn't fix Jamaica's problem. I mean, look at the dollar. I think the dollar is now 158. And
when you say he couldn't fix Jamaica's problem, what do you mean?
It's a big problem for the dollar to be sliding because what is happening, each time the dollar slides, it becomes difficult for people to purchase things to keep up. Let's say if your salary is at a point of, say, you're earning $20,000 a week, and each time the dollar slides, it costs more to buy the same goods and services locally. Am I right? Am I right?
Wait, but I think, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're suggesting Dr. Clark didn't do a good job as finance minister?
I don't think so, because each time the dollar slides, the people get poorer. Your salary reduces.
Man from the West, you know, I hear people making this argument, pockets of people, and by any assessment, any rubric, if you are not looking through a political lens, and I'm not saying you are, Dr. Clark did a good job as finance minister, sir. I really think that is impatient of debate.
Could you explain to me?
There are several articles that I will refer you to that have been done on Jamaica's post-COVID recovery and the movement in the economy in terms of how robust the macroeconomic variables have been. I recommend that you take a read of some of those articles. I'm telling you, to say Dr. Clark didn't do a good job as finance minister is absolutely not on point, and it's not a point I can support at all.
Mr. Reid, and if I'm wrong, tell me, each time the dollar slides, you pay. So each time the dollar slides, it finds its way into your pocket. That means that if the dollar is 150 and you're buying bread or whatever items it may be, Each time the dollar slide, then people who have to manufacture things or whatever, it's going to cost more on your life. It's going to cost more, but your pay is the same. So there's always a reduction because that reduction each time the dollar slide, it will find its way somewhere. Am I right? Tell me if I'm wrong, man.
Let's take your argument. Yes, I think you're wrong. And I've said that before, but I'm going to repeat. So let's take your argument and put it on the shelf. We're putting it on the shelf. Right? Is the sole rubric on which you judge the performance of a finance minister? So I'm going by your argument, and I'm not saying your argument is correct, but let me give you your argument. Is that the sole rubric that you use to judge the performance of a finance minister?
Okay, I know the dollar is.
No, you haven't answered me yet. Yes or no, sir? Is that the sole rubric? Is that the only way you measure the performance of the finance minister?
I wouldn't say the sole, but the slate of the dollar. Whose responsibility is
no, man, you're still going back to your argument. You've made your case, and I don't agree with you that you're correct, but I'm giving you your argument so we can advance the discussion. Now, what are the other major rubrics that you judge a finance minister on?
I am not good to argue this point to in-depth as you would, but I am trying to make a basic point that the general...
No, I'm saying, but I think you are basing your argument on a fallacy about the finance minister controlling the slide of the dollar.
So
and then even if we were to give you that argument, you don't have another argument to make against the performance. It's well documented, how well the economy of this country has done, not by political interests or activists, but by international financial watchers. They've told you how well Jamaica has done with Nigel Clark as the custodian of the country's coffers over those 6 years. It's well documented, sir.
But you don't answer my question to say whose responsibility it is.
But you're missing my point. I'm saying your point is moot, though, man from the West. You can't simply make your point about the performance of the finance minister on that single issue.
Okay.
We're not, man from the West, the line, it's kind of distorted. We're not hearing each other so well. So you're going to have to try and give us a call back, all right? I think we have Michelle back. Michelle, are you back with us? Sorry about that, man from the West. Have a great weekend. Michelle, good morning. Are you back with us?
Hello?
Hi, Michelle.
You're not hearing me. Morning.
Good morning to you, Lady Michelle. Yes, I'm hearing you now, loud and clear. Can you hold the line for us? We're up on our break. Can you hold?
Yeah.
My hands were steady. My eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose. My steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right.
Super healthy, super happy. SuperMed located in Kingston, St. Thomas, Portland, and St. Mary. The time by SuperMed family of pharmacies and Hughes Den Pharmacy is
after 11.
Come into the parlor. There's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Catch the
E-Zone with me, the Stinger Honeybee, alongside
Kareem Boy, thing.
as we turn up the heat
in the street. New show.
New vibe.
Same us.
Same us.
Monday to Friday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
We'll bring you entertainment news.
We'll take away your Monday blues.
You don't want to miss a week with us.
We'll talk health.
Well,
jump into the mix.
Or the hot seat.
Don't miss the brain buster.
Or the crazy giveaways.
I mean, is this planet Earth?
Is it?
I don't know. Let me check. Either way, it's got a buzz.
And a bug, I think.
Ow.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us on this TGI F edition of Nationwide at 5. I think Michelle is on with us. Michelle, are you still there?
Yeah, hello?
Top of the morning to you, Lady Michelle. How are you?
Fine. Why the three of them who give up their UL citizenship? Why like honest somebody and I look if I throw them at all? Both the three of them.
Say that again. Why don't they?
What? No, them give it up. Them said. So why?
Yes.
Why somebody don't look on it? See if I throw both the three of them at all. So then get it up.
It makes sense. The media should ask that they.
Politician can't be trusted.
That's very astute of you, Lady Michelle. The media should. The media should
be trusted. So three of them, somebody honest need and to look through them, both the three of them, because we not trust none of them. So somebody honestly to look if I true, the three of them attack so then get up the true.
Well, that's very astute of you. I'm not sure they've already provided the evidence, but if they have not, the media should ask for it.
Yeah, somebody honestly need and to do that. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that intervention there, Lady Michelle. She's absolutely right. If they have not yet provided the confirmation that they have, and it speaks of the trust deficit, that exists between politicians and the Jamaican people. She's saying, right, we shouldn't take their word for it. They're politicians. And they are very often known to be quite economical with the truth. I tell you, and especially given how Mark Goling handled this matter at the onset. The dodging and the dancing and the evading. If I can quote one of my former late colleagues, Gary Spaulding. Most definitely, I agree. I agree with you. We should ask them to provide the evidence. All of them should provide the evidence. Because I don't see how we can go forward with constitutional reform and breaking ties with the monarchy, where we have people who have dual citizenship with Britain, the same country, not another, the same Britain. And we again need to have a look at in this constitutional reform process, which I gather the recommendations I've looked at, whether or not we want to hold that members of the Commonwealth have a right to sit in our nation's parliament. Do we share in common with many members of the Commonwealth, other than the shared trauma of being colonized by Britain? What else is there? That is something that I gather we will definitely need to look at going forward. So she's right. Mark Goling, Matthew Samuda, and Julian Robinson, if they've not all done so, need to provide the evidence that they've broken ties with Britain. Provide the evidence, Michelle says. Great point there from Michelle. We definitely need to see the evidence if it has not been provided. I see quite a few of the people getting up in arms about my comments about the Prime Minister on our YouTube channel. I see quite a few of them. Breaking the law doesn't mean you are right. I don't know why we equate morality with legality. It can be legal and it can be poor in terms of governance. And it can be contrary to the fundamentals of democracy. So you can be upset, you're entitled to your upset. But the fact is, the Prime Minister has not acted very democratically in this instance towards the people of Southern Trelawney. I am not even yet advocating for the people of Northwest St. Andrew because they still have an MP at this hour. And up to September 30, Dr. Nigel Clark should very well still be the MP, because I gather it is October that he leaves, the end of October. Jack, good morning. Are you there, Jack? We're not hearing Jack. Brick Road, good morning.
Hey, Tyrone, I talk out my credit, man. Anyway.
Who is this, Jack or Brick Road?
Brick Road.
All right, Brick Road.
You interviewed the education minister maybe 2 years ago, and you pressed her on the question of how we transfer our children from grade 6 to high school, and asked her if she would commit to changing that. But she didn't move on that. So it's refreshing to hear the Prime Minister now coming with a proposal and he referred to it as a travesty, the way we've been doing it over decades. So that is a good thing. But it's going to take some work. No education minister has ever said it like this. The closest one was Ronnie Thwaites when he called our system apartheid system. Yes. But none of them has ever said it has to be changed, because they're very coward. So I'm glad that the Prime Minister has decided to move on it. Are you hearing me?
We need more than talk when it comes to education in this country. We need to see concrete actions. So I'm not very impressed by talk alone. I want to see the action.
Exactly. Now, as far as St. James' situation is concerned, I told you the last time I spoke to you, and every time I speak to Cliff, I've said it. I've repeated it. We need to change the way we do our school boards. You see what happened with St. James? The principal has his own way, and the board is afraid of him. And it happens right across the 1,009 schools, which each has their own board. 1,009 school boards. That's ridiculous. We need to change the board, the way
there is enough in the broken system and rules that we have to get rid of the principal if he's not acting according to code. There is enough in it. We just need to get it done, sir.
And we just don't seem to be able to do that because
we have a problem solving problems, Brick Road. that's one of the larger points I tried to make this morning. We have a problem solving problems. And the rate at which we have a problem, the intensity of it, ought to be studied by scientists. I'm telling you. It is absolutely mind-boggling, our inability to solve problems. I think we've lost Brick Road. So sorry about the credit there, Brick Road. Do we have any other callers online, Nora? But and I mean this wholeheartedly, we need to study this thing. We cannot solve problems in the country, even when the problems are staring us right in the face. We can't solve them. We're up on the next break. Let's take a break and come back with more of your calls.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light, and I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
The mission of the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs includes revising Jamaica's legal and constitutional infrastructure and accelerating the pace of reform. The time by the MLCA is
7:15.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival Black & Chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661 to 2.
Books, bags, and winning is what back to school is made of. Start your school year winning with JMMB Money Transfer and collect your share of the $250,000 cash prize plus $200,000 in Sanctures book vouchers. Send and receive your RIA, MoneyGram, Zoom, and Remitly remittances the fast, reliable, and convenient way. Visit jm.jmb.com/money-transfer for details on how to enter and win. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply.
Come join us outside with Pepita. Every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. right here on Nationwide 90 FM. We bring you the views, the news, and we'll be cruising all around Jamaica.
Surprise them with a bang.
Where the hot spots, raindrops, sunshine, we'll be there. Don't miss it, don't miss it. Outside with Pepita.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light, and I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock, like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers their scheme.
Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us. Right here, I see some folks in the YouTube chat saying, I said Nationwide at 5. No, this is Cliff Hughes Online. You know, Nationwide at 5 is my original program, you know, always near and dear to my heart. Yeah. So it's just a slip. But this is Cliff Hughes Online. It's a TGIF edition, and we're working the phone lines. We're taking your calls. A lot's happening. A lot's always happening. You know, politically, there is much fodder with regards to this election, and I know those who support the Jamaica Labour Party don't want to hear me on it, and those on the matter of the poor handling of this by-election issue by the Jamaica Labour Party. Absolutely poor handling of it, and there's no justification, I think, that can come forward that would support leaving the people of Southern Trelawney without a replacement after waiting for more than a year. The ink on the resignation letter from Marsha Smith hasn't even dried yet, and a by-election has been declared, and the people of Southern Trelawney have been waiting for a year. How can that be acceptable to any well-thinking Jamaican is beyond me. It cannot be acceptable. Yeah, it can't be acceptable. And of course, I'm still at my wit's end concerning what is happening at the St. James High School. And yes, I do know that the Minister of Education can't get involved with certain things operationally on the ground. But the minister needs to use her considered influence to bring this matter to a close. She needs to do what is legally acceptable. Lean on the board chairman to get the job done. But if what this principal is being accused of is true, he should not continue in his job. I do not renege from that. He should not continue in this job. Let me turn to some of our comments on our YouTube channel. Or of course, if you want to reach out on Twitter, I'll try to incorporate the comments as well. And I saw a comment on Twitter, not Twitter anymore, formerly known as Twitter. It's now known as X, where someone is tagging me in the Integrity Commission release on the issue involving the Prime Minister's decorations, the certification of his decorations. And they're questioning, I would suppose, again, the timing of the release and comments purportedly made by the General Secretary of the People's National Party. I didn't hear the comments myself, so I will need to listen back to the full interview. I heard sections of it, but I didn't listen to the full interview to find out what exactly the PNP GenSec said. Yeah, so I will definitely try to look into it as well. All right, we're back from the break, and we have other callers online. Chris is with us. Chris?
Yes, Mr. Reid.
How are you doing, Sir Chris?
I am good. I have been trying to get your station, but it seemed like it's easier to get you than Mr. Hughes. Mr. Hughes is a man who is in demand, you know. And
I don't know why.
Well, it's just a good station to listen to. I will say that. Good host.
No, man, as much as he and I don't see eye to eye in a lot of things, and we like to rib each other.
Nothing
Cliff Hughes is one of the best to ever do it.
Yes,
I won't say, and I probably won't admit that publicly ever again.
Right. Well, you did it, son, and it's an honorable thing to do. You know.
Yeah, he is one of the best to ever do it.
Me and you and him don't see eye to eye on some things. And I will tell you this, I had 3 points that I wanted to raise with him, but since I get you, you are good enough to raise them with.
You have to put up with me. Yes, go ahead, man.
For one, and I start with the last one first, because I just came in and turned on the radio. In terms of the people of South Trelawney, I worked there, and I would have known that they had some good representatives in terms of the councillors and all of this. And if there's an issue hanging that can be resolved otherwise, as Mr. Patterson said, I shall return. If Mama D can return, I know she has represented the people well. Mr. Smith is up there, a councillor. War is there as another good councillor. And I know they were not out of representation insofar as the doing is concerned. There was only one of the councillors that I think is from the other side. So they have not lost. Well, now they have all 4 councillors. That is Mama D's side. They have all 4 councillors. So they were not out of representation. And I would understand the timing and so. There are some things that you have to move speedy about. And we don't know we are getting.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
You're saying the fact that they have the councillors there and no MP, they have not lost representation.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Which one, hold on, let me interrogate what you're putting on the table before I allow you to move on. Which one of those councillors can go to Gordon House?
Well, next door, you have as lawyer. You're not a lawyer.
No, sir.
Okay. But you have lawyers who sometimes they said, I rise in amicus. As a retired police officer, I'll tell you this. They say I rise in amicus. Or my lord, I represent my brother. So South Trelawney, North Trelawney is there. South Fenton is there. And all of those can rise if there's a need for them to make a point. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Westminster system of government ought to operate.
Right. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
No, you can't make the case. Then you can't make the case that they've not been without representation when they do not currently have a sitting member of parliament, sir. And I know you know the argument cannot stand. You're an intelligent. You sound like an intelligent man, Chris. So I know you know that argument cannot stand.
I thank you. I thank you for giving me that props. And I know I wouldn't have all the time on radio to argue it with you, but I could, as a debater from secondary school in Brownstown, St. Anne. But I just tell you that. But two, the other thing is, I heard Mr. Hughes was questioning and people questioning, why has not the Prime Minister named the replacement? And they question Flavor Williams and they want to kill her on radio to say she come as a cabinet minister and she never say anything. And when they ask the question and they try to twist it, an intelligent lady I always listen to from finance days when she used to speak, not as a politician. And I was glad when she was inserted in politics. And whichever side had her, she would have been a good representative. I remember as a young police, when Mr. Macmillan, when I think they fired or they hired, but Macmillan was coming to the ministry or the constabulary, not the ministry at the time. He was coming to the constabulary as the commissioner, and I was directing traffic in Halfway Tree Square, and I was asked the question with my white gloves on and that white cap peak as a special constable. JBC TV came up to me, "Sir, Mr. Macmillan is going to be the commissioner of police today. Can you give us a comment?" I said, "No comment at this time. No comment at this time." And if somebody said no comment at this time, it means no comment. You have to be correct and politically correct. And sometimes you know the answer, what you have, but you can't give it away. I know Cliff Hughes would not give some things away, and I won't blame him now, since he's not here to defend what I'm saying. You understand? I think Miss Lady was in her right not to respond.
I've been doing this thing called journalism for more than 20 years. And let me tell you one of the things I have taken away. No comment can be one of the most damning things you say.
Well, and it can be hurtful too, because sometimes
which is the point I'm making.
When your lip is too oily. There was a minister I know, he used to be in finance, and he has very oily lips. He used to negotiate on behalf of the public service. And when he say things, sometimes we are there negotiating, and he changed the narrative. Oh, no, locking up the bar so early. And he would change. And we said, I remember one of the present leader said to him, "Sir, are we in negotiation? Are we talking about?" because they never take the thing seriously. I have to big up Dr. Nigel Clark, and if you ask me, one of the biggest takeaway that he has done is to get order to negotiations. And I must tell you, I have benefited, and I know many more have benefited and will benefit from the fact that you don't have these little splintering allowances, dog allowance, wash car allowance, and all of these little things added. You are judged by your pay. And your pay include traveling if you are a traveling officer. It include canine angling if you are a canine angler, and all of this. So I think he has done well, and I want to big up Dr. Clark, big up the IMF, and everybody, because Jamaica, whilst yes, we have lost somebody in terms of one of our brightest scholars, it don't mean that there was nobody else in train. You understand? There's one other point, because I know you have a number of callers waiting. There's one other point I want to ask, and I listened. Teachers' resignation. Are you with me?
Okay, go ahead.
Your teacher's resignation. There's something that I'm missing, you see, Mr. Reid, that they keep saying that how much teacher has resigned. But I don't know. I wonder if this narrative is put into it. A teacher might resign, say, for example, at school in one of the volatile areas. I don't want to call them areas. You know them. But does that mean that that teacher is not re-employed in Jamaica at some other school?
We will still gather the data about those who leave to migrate, you know.
Well, I don't believe that the argument that I've listened to speak to all who migrate, because they don't know all who migrate. They wouldn't know that, because some might leave for the police work. You have teachers who will leave the JTA and the teachers for the police force, for the army, or for insurance or other things. You understand? Yeah. And there are some who leave.
The argument still remains that there are a number of teachers who are leaving. But I take a slightly different view. You know, I don't know that the government of the day, or any government, can solely be held responsible for teachers who decide to migrate, because it's hard to ask a country like Jamaica to compete with the packages that are being offered by more developed countries with far greater resources to sweeten the pot for teachers. It's hard to ask Jamaica to compete with that. So we need to be a bit more nuanced in our view of this conversation. Yeah, I know the JTA tries to use it to hit the teachers of the government over the head, and also the opposition of the day also tries to attack the government with it. But it's a way more nuanced issue than simply what the government of Jamaica is paying teachers alone. Because the truth is, can they compete? And very often the answer to that is no. How are they going to compete with first world countries that are offering far greater benefits? And given the penchant that many Jamaicans have for living overseas, that also culturally we have to factor into the mix, right? So there's a lot to consider, but we have to leave it there, though.
Yeah, but just before you leave it,
I've gone past the break, Sir Chris. I can't take any more, my brother. And we have other people lining up as well. Please try and give us a call back, all right? I know Maxine is on the line with us, but we'll take the break, or we'll come back from the break. We'll go to Maxine, all right?
Okay, Mr. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right.
Carmen's Collection and Furnitureland is having a summer sale. 40 to 50% off on all furniture. The time by Carmen's Collection and Furnitureland. Furnish your home Carmen's way is
7:32.
Have you just finished grade 11? Looking for a 2-year 6th-form pathway to earn overseas local certificate diploma and advanced diploma and get qualified to work locally and internationally? Register now. Start free 6th form at IIRQ Academy. Start our new 6th form program online or face-to-face classes in September. Choose between pathway 1, 2, or 3. Paid for by the Ministry of Education. For more information, call 876-322-4029 or visit 32 Hope Road, Kingston. Website www.iirq.org.
Total Tools Rental and Electrical Supplies is Jamaica's one-stop shop for tools and equipment rental, sales, repair, service, transportation, and parts. They almost always have it. If they don't, they will source it. Check out their pickup and delivery service and their equipment with operator for hire service. Visit their Ocherius or Crossroads branch. Follow them on social media. Call or WhatsApp 876-834-5300.
Is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts. Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Marlon Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we're all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media. Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, My steps were quick and light, and I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock. And I stood arrow straight, unencumbered by the weight of all these hustlers and their schemes. I stood proud, I stood tall, high above it all. I still believed in my dreams.
Welcome back. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us right here inside Cliff Hughes Online. It's the TGIF edition. Yeah, we've been taking your calls. 876-630-93714 or 876-618-8255. Before we go back to the phone lines, just to go through a couple of the comments here on our YouTube channel. Kirk says, time come and gone for Kane E. Guess that's a derogatory way to refer to the PMP. Why you don't like smart people? Popper says, Tyrone, you know something? I don't hear about the teachers who are migrating. How much they pay for rent? I know the average rent for a 2-bedroom in America is about 375,000 Jamaican dollars, 2,500 US. I'm not so certain you can do that, you know. They are in the US, so you have to calculate it as to what they're being paid there in the US. It's relative to what they're being paid and not relative to what they're being paid in Jamaica. Yeah. Grace Ben says, she responding to Never Gillespie, she says the reason is because she went to college and her husband, let me leave that one alone. Patrick Dunbar said wholeness and his government need to have a state of the country similar to the USA State of the Union and all the media networks to inform the country on all his government achievements. An address similar to that of the State of the Nation in the US. It's, it may be a good thing. They in the UK, they have more frequently than we do here, I gather. Prime Minister's question and answers. That's also good in the Parliament as well. Kirk says, out of all the taxes we pay, who has ever gotten 400,000 to repair anything from the PNP? Kirk says. I don't know where they're coming from. A lot of political chatter happens here. I'm trying to sift through the rubble of the political chatter because they're quite robust here with their political convictions in our YouTube chat now. And for the caller who called about this issue involving a remark that was allegedly made by Dayton Campbell, I know our producers are working on it to get exactly what was said before we can make a determination. Right? So we're working on that. I want you to know that and don't think that we have forgotten it. So we're working on it. We are also, let me see if I can get you some more of these comments. And of course, if you want to reach out on X, it's at Tyrone Reads, and I'll try to incorporate your comments there. I see also here Denise McKenzie saying 3,200 per month when you take out bills, not even savings left. And I gather that's in relation to how much the teachers might be paying in expenses. And again, to Denise and the other YouTubers arguing that point, it is relative to how much they are being paid there. Yes, because if they're getting anywhere between let's say $7,000 a month, and they're paying $2,500, and the food might be relatively inexpensive, depending on where they are. They can make it work, and we don't know what arrangements they have with the schools that hire them in terms of housing. I'm not certain how many of the schools assist with that, right? But many people will continue to see that, as a step up the professional ladder, because culturally that is how we view moving to places in North America and the UK as well. We view it as a step up because those are considered first world countries. And it's not just teachers alone who migrate. Yeah? And I'm not knocking teachers who decide to migrate. I won't knock the teachers or other young professionals who choose to go out there. The world is our stage, We can go out there and make a difference and still contribute positively to our country. All right. So Roy, I think, is our next caller online. Roy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Reid. Reid?
Yes, man. Good morning to you. I'm listening.
Yes. I just want to ask a few questions and see if you can help me. The teachers in St. James, the principal, does he answer to the board?
On paper, he ought to be, sir. On paper, he ought to be, but based on what has been
and the Ministry of Education.
Ultimately, the board chairman would then relate to the minister, but ultimately, he ought to be answerable to the board. But is it going in that direction, given what's been unfolding at St. James? The situation there is untenable, sir. It can't be allowed to continue.
It's definitely untenable. And it's not very good for the board to administrate that way. Definitely administrating better principle. And we hope that something urgently done to correct that situation by the Ministry of Education. The other thing is, I want to ask you again, I'm agreeing with the lady that called and said that the 3 persons that give up their dual citizenship, they should be given a certification to the country so that we see that it is clear. I'm fully in agreement with her.
Well, yeah, man, you're loud and clear, and you mean the lady who called? I think it was Michelle, our caller, who said
Michelle,
they should provide the evidence.
Yes, especially for the leader of the opposition.
Absolutely agree with it, sir, and especially for the leader of the opposition.
Yes,
and we are saying that because of how we handled the situation initially.
Definitely, because he said that you could not 1 foot in a King Charles and 1 foot out. And he stands around
when he had a foot in King Charles's yard as a citizen of Britain. I don't know. I don't know how he said that with a straight face. I'm telling you.
That was a Jim Screechy act. Yeah, So I think that they should come and confirm it, whether with a certificate or not. But I believe Julian and Mr. Sumoda, but the opposition leader is still in doubt that he don't give it up.
Somebody calling this program once, said of politicians, well, one politician in particular, but I will repeat it in relation to one politician. He said, after they shake your hand, you have to count your fingers.
I hear him.
I think it was Papa Nana who delivered that salvo. I find that to be, I found it to be absolutely hilarious, but it is so true. And I'm telling you, how Mark Goling handled the situation at the jump leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, a lot to be desired. And I think that puts a big asterisk beside his name. A big question mark hangs over his head because of how he handled that matter.
Definitely, especially in his position, aspires to be the next Prime Minister of the country. The last thing I wanted to ask,
Mm-hmm.
is it that the Integrity Commission hint both Julian and Dayton, and they're certain sure that after the Prime Minister must call an election, they're going to bring in so much, why they come out and say?
All right. I didn't hear the question. Repeat that for me. If it's what?
They're the one that Julian said it to one meeting last week, sometimes last week, and Dayton come and say that when the Integrity Commission drop the answer, the Prime Minister will have to call the election. Think is that a good reason?
Well, I don't know what they know, my good sir. So I can't speak to what they know. But the report is with the Parliament, and I think the responsible thing to do is to wait until it's tabled, then we have a chance to peruse it, then we go from there.
But
I'm not getting into that with them.
I want the Integrity Commission prove with some integrity that what they say, the speculation that they give doesn't stand.
All right, thank you for the call, though, my brother. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man, take care. All the best.
All right, Sir Roy. Have a good weekend, man. All right, I think we have that clip lined up for you in which some reference was made allegedly to when the report would be from the Integrity Commission would come. This is the interview we did with Dr. Dayton Campbell. Let's listen to the clip and then let's see what exactly was said. We're trying to sort out the clip. Forgive us, dear listeners. We're trying to have the clip sorted, but we're going to have it for you. Let's just throw to the break, and then when we come back, we'll play the clip.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock.
Total Tools Rental and Electrical Supplies is Jamaica's one-stop shop for tools and equipment rental, sales, repair, service, transportation, and parts. They almost always have it. If they don't, they will source it. Check out their pickup and delivery service and their equipment with operator for hire service. Visit their Ocherius or Crossroads branch. Follow them on social media. Call or WhatsApp 876-834-5300.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me, let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us right here inside Cliff Hughes Online, not NN5, Cliff Hughes Online. Let's turn to the issue regarding what Dr. Dayton Campbell said. He's the General Secretary of the People's National Party about the arrival of the Integrity Commission reports into the inability of the Commission to certify the Prime Minister's statutory declarations?
The general election is going to be called shortly, right? We know that there are investigations that are taking place, that the reports will come shortly. We see what is taking place in the country with food prices, with all the other problems that are going on.
Let us go back a bit though, Dr. Campbell, because you said something that I want clarity on and we're running out of time. You indicated that reports will come shortly. How do you know that? Do you have sources inside the Integrity Commission advising you?
I do not have any sources more than you would have. I am simply using...
But how did you come to that conclusion then that reports will be coming shortly?
Well, they told me that Jesus soon come back. That's 2,000 years ago. So when I say reports will soon come, I didn't put a date on it, did I?
No, but you seem to be almost certain that this is going to happen between now and the next general election.
I'm certain that Christ will return. I am certain that Christ will return.
Dr. Campbell, come on. You're saying shortly. Anyone would know what shortly means, Dr. Campbell.
I'm saying that those reports will come. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Sister Blind Man. Dr. Campbell has put his foot in his mouth once again. That isn't surprising, is it? He did in fact say it will be coming shortly. You know, I gather this interview was on Wednesday of this week. And the Integrity Commission confirmed on Thursday that it submitted 2 reports and their associated indicative rulings to Parliament for tabling. Some would say too close for comfort, you know. Some would say too close for comfort. And when asked if he... Play the clip again for me one more time. Please, I beg you.
The general election is going to be called shortly, right? We know that there are investigations that are taking place, that the reports will come shortly. We see what is taking place in the country with food prices, with all the other problems that are going on.
Let us go back a bit though, Dr. Campbell, because you said something that I want clarity on and we're running out of time. You indicated that reports will come shortly. How do you know that? Do you have sources inside the Integrity Commission advising you?
I do not have any sources more than you would have. I am simply using...
But how did you come to that conclusion then that reports will be coming shortly?
Well, they told me that Jesus soon come back. That's 2,000 years ago. So when I say reports will soon come, I didn't put a date on it, did I?
No, but you seem to be almost certain that this is going to happen between now and the next general election.
I'm certain that Christ will return. I am certain that Christ will return.
Dr. Campbell, come on. You're saying shortly. Anyone would know what shortly means, Dr. Campbell.
I'm saying that those reports will come. That's what I'm saying.
You know? Oh dear. I understand why people are concerned about what was said. Understand why people are concerned. I would like to know as well how the General Secretary of the People's National Party knew that this report would come shortly. I would like to know as well, because we had been waiting for so long for this matter to be put to bed. And a day after he says the report is going to come shortly, the report is sent to the nation's parliament for tabling. It could be a coincidence. It could be that he was just speaking off the top of his head, but it does raise questions. It does raise questions. It is too close for comfort, if you ask me, and it requires some explanation. It requires some explanation really happening in this country. You know, I'll say this because I don't know, and I don't want to point a finger at the Integrity Commission without cause, because I don't have enough to do that. But certainly we have enough to raise questions. The integrity of the Commission needs to be protected at all costs. The job it was set up to do is way too important and significant to the success of Project Jamaica for us to damage the reputation of the Integrity Commission. I'll put it no stronger than that. I'll put it no stronger than that. It's almost time for the newscast. We take the break, bring the morning session of Cliff Hughes Online to a close. At the top of the hour, you'll hear the world at noon.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light. And I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock. Like a rock. I was strong as I could be, like a rock. Nothing ever got to me, like a rock. I was something to see, like a rock.
But is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts. Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene. Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
12 o'clock.
The News at Noon teasers are brought to you by Educom Cooperative Credit Union, providing value through service.
It's credible and factual. The World at Noon on Nationwide 90 FM.
Good afternoon, I'm Robianne Williams. Coming up in The World at Noon today, Friday, September 6, 2024. Man shot and killed at school gate in Christiana Friday morning was on bail for 2018 murder of child. PNP caretaker for Northeast Manchester urges residents to take Christiana back from criminals.
We want Christiana to return to the peaceful town that we're accustomed for it to be, a quiet and law-abiding town.
The Northeast St. Anne by-election set to cost close to $30 million.
Most so because of the size of the constituency, the number of police stations, the number of persons that to engage, etc. So given that size, so we're looking at close to $30 million.
And former PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips supports his party's decision to abstain from the by-election. In regional news, MP calls for more police patrols in Trinidad and Tobago village of Maruga. In international news, teen charged in Georgia school shooting and his father to remain in custody. And in sports, Steve McLaren says he's excited about his first assignment as head coach for the Reggae Boys. The details after the break.
The News at Noon teasers were brought to you by Educom Cooperative Credit Union, providing value through service.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
The Midday News is brought to you by Total Tools. We almost always have it.
Now the news in detail. A throng of concerned parents descended on Christiana Moravian Primary School in Manchester this morning, eager to know if their children were safe. This following the killing of a man at the school gate moments before classes were due to get started for the day. Relatives have identified the slain man as 27-year-old Cuthbert Lambert, otherwise called Jerome. The Christiana police have confirmed that Lambert was out on bail in relation to the murder of a child in 2018. It's unclear if his murder was related to that incident. Reports are that Lambert was attacked this morning shortly after dropping his 5-year-old stepdaughter at school. He was shot as he walked to his car, a black Toyota Wish. He died on the scene. A policeman who addressed the parents sought to reassure them that the children were safe.
All the students, they are safe. Yes, sir. And the directives from the ministry is that back gate must be closed now. Okay. For now, that is the safe gate. Over there is the safe spot. All right. Over there is the safe spot. Yes, sir. We have operational persons here. We have our regular police from Christiana here. We have detectives here, so we have people down there. So don't have to worry about the safety of the children now. What you need to be concerned about is how you relate to them when they come home.
A police officer, principal of the neighboring Christiana High, Lee Wallace, says the incident is traumatizing.
It's really disheartening and stressing to come out in the first week of school to see what is happening in the Christiana community. It is really unprecedented. We have never seen the likes of this kind of crime and violence in this area. And so, as you can see clearly, the parents are concerned, the teachers are concerned, and of course, we are concerned for the students in general. It is really heart-rending to see what is happening with the level of crime and violence that is now taking place in this community. And we really are looking forward to an intervention.
Lee Wallace, principal of Christiana High. The incident comes on the heels of Wednesday night's slaying of 29-year-old Romario White, who was shot and killed at a bar in the Christiana town centre. And it's the second time this week that students in northeast Manchester town have been plunged into trauma. This after the tragic death of 10-year-old Trayvon Sanchez of Christiana Least Primary on Monday. Meanwhile, PNP caretaker for Northeast Manchester, Valentin Wint, says he's concerned by recent deadly incidents in the usually quiet town.
I am deeply troubled at the, incidents of murder taking place in this town. This is Christiana, a usually very, very quiet town. That is not how we are accustomed to solving our differences. And in less than 3 days, we've had 2 murders. And I just heard of a stabbing just down the road, and I'm hoping that does not result in another murder.
Wint believes the crimes are being committed by strangers.
I know the police is making every effort to keep Christiana a quiet and law-abiding town, but for some reasons, criminal elements are finding themselves into this town, and they're wreaking havoc. We really, really have to be our brother's keeper. And so we have to start looking at the strangers who are coming to our town. And we have to report them to the police. Because these persons who are coming are bringing violence to this town. We want Christiana to return to the peaceful town that we're accustomed for it to be. This is really, really, really a very sad time.
Valentin Wint, PNP caretaker for Northeast Manchester. Westmorland's most wanted man was shot and killed in an alleged confrontation with the police in Little London on Friday. He's Carlington Godfrey, otherwise called Tommy. A policeman was shot and injured during the incident. Acting Commanding Officer for the Westmorland Police Division, Deputy Superintendent Sean J. Mitchell, says Godfrey was wanted for multiple crimes.
Carlington Godfrey has been the feature of numerous targeted operations within the Westmoreland Division for a number of years. He's wanted for murders, shootings, robberies, rapes, and numerous other criminal activities within the parish, and has been featured on the JCF's Wanted Wednesdays campaign for a number of weeks and even months. Based on the information that we received sometime after 8 a.m. this morning, a police team went to a location where he was targeted, and he engaged the law enforcement officers in a gunfight. During the firefight, he was shot and injured and subsequently taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. An officer who was on the operation was also shot and injured. He's also receiving treatment at hospital.
DSP Mitchell says the relentless efforts of the police will continue to rid the parish of criminals.
Godfrey has been wreaking havoc in the parish of Westmoreland, particularly the Frome and Grangel areas, where he has been featured in a number of violent incidents, including shooting at the police. The success of this morning's operation is a testament to the fact that criminals are not welcomed in Westmoreland or anywhere in Area 1. This is a big win not only for the parish of Westmoreland, but also for the entire area, that is Area 1, where he has been a main feature of numerous operations. We continue to urge citizens to support the police, to work closer with the police, and to provide information about criminals and criminal suspects operating within their areas.
DSP Sean J. Mitchell, acting commanding officer for the operations officer for the Westmoreland Police Division. Director of Elections Glaspole Brown says it will cost almost $30 million to execute the Northeast St. Anne by-election. The by-election is set for Monday, September 30. Nomination day is Wednesday, September 11. Dana Davey reports.
The Director of Elections says due to the size of the constituency, the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, will expend close to $30 million to execute the by-election. He provided the figure while speaking nationwide this morning on Friday.
On the budget that we have submitted, we are looking close to in excess of 29.5, close to $30 million for this particular constituency. More so because of the size of the constituency, the number of polling stations, the number of persons that we engage, etc. So, given that size, so we're looking at close to $30 million.
Mr. Brown says 43,000 people are eligible to vote in Northeast St. Anne. Over 300 election day workers will be needed to marshal activities on the day.
There are roughly 146 police stations, so we're looking at close to 300 persons in total, including supervisors, political liaison officers, indoor agents, and administrators, security support, the one-day policemen, etc. So we're looking in excess of 340 persons to assist us in the process on the day.
The Director of Elections says the EOJ is ready for September 30.
Since the announcement, we have started our preparation. Certainly everything is in place for Wednesday, nomination day. The nomination forms are in the offices, certainly in the Northeast Constituency office in St. Anne Bay. So any potential candidate can so go to our offices and pick up the nomination form. And these are to be submitted on Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
The JLP's Matthew Samuda is expected to be the only candidate nominated by either of the established political parties. The PNP has opted not to contest the by-election. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, Mr. Brown says there will be no need for a special voting day for election day workers and the police.
Everybody come and see this, so there's no special voting day for the security force and our workers. Everybody will vote on the 30th.
Glaspole Brown, Director of Elections. In the meantime, former PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips is supporting his party's decision to bypass the Northeast St. Anne by-election.
I support it. What I see is a kind of maneuvering which is quite costly to gain political advantage of one sort or another when general elections are due in less than 12 months. And I think we should just stop those games and stop wasting funds that we don't have as we still are trying to pay down this debt. And if you want to have the elections, instead of stringing out 3 and 4 by-elections, disrespecting the people who have been languishing for more than a year without representation in South Trelawney, call general elections and have it done.
Dr. Phillips says there's a need for an assessment of how politics is practiced in Jamaica.
I think we need to take stock as a country of how we practice our politics, how we do everything. Just as you take stock as you enter into, retirement and later years of what could I have done better. We need to do that as a country that is entering onto maturity.
Dr. Peter Phillips, former PNP president, he was speaking on Nationwide this morning on Friday. Parliamentary Secretary Senator Abka Fitzhenley is dismissing the argument that the by-election in Northeast St. Anne is being rushed.
What I can speak to, though, is the overarching objective of adjusting personnel in the administration to focus on this overarching goal of getting the Jamaican economy to expand by more significant margins, and this will mean focus on human resource development, ease of doing business, promoting new industries, creating stronger linkages, etc. So in the coming days, in the coming weeks, it will become clear the direction the Prime Minister is heading in. But this notion of North-East St. Anne being rushed, I believe, is not really a credible perception given the context in which these changes are being made.
Meanwhile, Senator Fitzhenley says the claim by the opposition PNP that it will not be contesting the by-election based on principle is disingenuous. The PNP says it will not contest a by-election with a general election due in another year.
You recall in 2001 when Danny Melville resigned in protest, a by-election was held in 2001 and a general election was held a year later. In late 2014, in central Westmoreland, the Simpson administration called a by-election and a general election was held just over a year later in early February of 2016. And the by-election was called at a time when the then Finance Minister, Dr. Peter Phillips, had put the country on general election alert. When Dr. Dayton Campbell, the General Secretary of the PNP, says that it's a matter of principle why they are choosing to cop out of contesting North-East St. Anne, it's a Christopher Columbus-like discovery of principle, which I believe that the Jamaican people will see for what it is. It is not credible, it is disingenuous, and it is absolutely absurd.
Senator Abka Fitzhenley, Parliamentary Secretary. The leaders of 3 teachers' colleges are defending the quality of teacher training in the country. In 2022, a joint World Bank and UNICEF study commissioned by Jamaica's Finance Ministry raised concerns about the standards of student teachers. More in this report. The performance of teachers has been a hot topic, especially in light of ongoing discussions about teacher retention and migration. The 2022 study highlighted issues such as inefficient public spending on teacher education, low-quality pre-service training, and inadequate practical application in educational programs. However, Principal of Church Teachers College Dr. Garth Anderson argues that Jamaican teachers are being recruited internationally because of the high quality of training they receive.
We train some of the best teachers in the world, and the evidence is there to prove that. That is why right across the world, our teachers have currency. People are coming for them. In fact, the recruiters are taking them from in their final year. There was a time when they would wait for them to get some experience in teaching. But right across the world, they are coming for them in 4th year. We don't have a perfect system. I question about per capita investment. Quite frankly, the government only pay for salaries in our institutions. And students have to foot the bill for their full education. So there are some questions around that.
For his part, President of the Michael University College, Dr. Asburn Pinnock, says Jamaican teachers are highly regarded wherever they work.
If you put a very good teacher in a system that is not supported, then that teacher will not perform. And so it begs the question that Garth raised. In fact, then how come that our teachers are so highly demanded across the world? And in the trader studies that we have, we find that they're performing excellently, and they're accredited and they're promoted, and they're doing very well wherever they go, right across the globe. I don't understand. That report needs to be re-examined and to look at some other factors that may be the cause. And therefore, we have to re-examine the entire education system and to see what is happening from kindergarten all the way up to tertiary. And I question the spending per capita because we're not feeling that per capita spending in the colleges.
And Principal of Sam Sharp Teachers College, Ricardo Bennett, adds that despite financial challenges, they've been doing their best with the support provided by the government.
The data is very clear that it tells us that majority of what is spent in education does not go necessarily to tertiary. And if we look at what goes to tertiary, which is about 35% of the 19% that is spent on education, of that 35% that goes to tertiary, teachers' colleges only receive what? About 10.3% of such. And we believe that based on what we receive or the support that is given, which is mostly in the form of paying salaries, I believe that we are doing a good job in training some of the best teachers, not only for local demand, but what we're seeing now is that our teachers are in demand globally.
Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News. 759. That's the number of special education needs assistants currently in Jamaica. This was revealed by Minister of Education Favour Williams at a post-cabinet media briefing on Wednesday.
In our schools, we have 338 new centers, bringing the total across all regions to 759. We've also been able to top up the salaries a bit. Centers were getting about $40,000. We moved that to $60,000. Yes, we're not bowling it out of the park, but it's a move in the right direction.
Minister Williams says the ministry has collaborated with the Heart NSTA Trust to have all centers certified.
We have also done some alignment of courses with Heart so that our centers will be able to receive certification with a level 1, 2, or 3 in the very near future. And that would allow our centers access to education in schools and so on. And we believe that's a good benefit. Centers were getting about $40,000. We moved that to $60,000. Yes, we're not bowling it out of the park, but it's a move in the right direction.
Favour Williams, Minister of Education. To regional news now, Member of Parliament for the village of Maruga in Trinidad and Tobago, Michelle Benjamin, is calling for increased security and police patrols. Her call follows the recent double murder of siblings Keston and Chanel Singh, who were chopped to death on Wednesday. The murders came on the heels of the killing of a 5-year-old and her father over 2 weeks ago. According to the MP, the community has been left to fend for itself for far too long. She says with just 6 police officers serving over 6,000 residents, the area has become a haven for violent crime. And in international news, the 14-year-old suspect in a shooting that killed 4 people at a Georgia high school and his father will remain in custody as their lawyers decided not to seek bail on Friday. Colt Gray, who has been charged with 4 counts of murder, is accused of using a semi-automatic assault-style rifle to kill 2 fellow students and 2 teachers Wednesday at Appalachia High School in Winder, outside Atlanta. His father, Colin Gray, who was arrested for allowing his son to have a weapon, is charged with involuntary manslaughter and second-degree murder. The 2 appeared in back-to-back hearings Friday morning with about 50 onlookers in the courtroom. Another hearing has been set for December 4. That's it for local, regional, and international news. Sports is next.
The Midday News was brought to you by Total Tools. We almost always have it.
Success powered by learning. The Time brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
12:21.
Hey, did you know that the Jamaica Stock Exchange has a loyalty program?
No, what at?
Well, as a JSE Loyalty Club member, you are now able to earn rewards when you shop at any of the participating merchants island-wide.
But I don't own any stocks and I'm not a member.
No problem, man. Join the program by downloading the JSE Loyalty app, activate your account, and start racking up points with every purchase. Redeem points for goods and services at any participating merchant or choose to convert them into stocks.
So what if I already have stocks?
That's even better. It means that you are pre-enrolled on the program. You only need to download the app and activate. Start your portfolio. Grow your portfolio. Join our loyalty program and earn, save, or invest. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, where loyalty builds financial performance.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, up-to-the-minute local and international sports news, this is the Nationwide Sports at Noon.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to your midday sports report here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's national senior men's football team will open its 2024-25 CONCACAF Nations League campaign when they take on Cuba at the National Stadium starting at 7 this evening. This will be Steve McLaren's first competitive game since his appointment as head coach of the national team. And he says he is a bit anxious, yes, but looking forward to it.
Always, I like that. It means you're ready for the game. And that's what football's all about. Doesn't matter what level. Always when you play, you're always, don't know quite what's going to happen. It's football. We can control the controllables, which we've tried to do. And we try to introduce one or two things, keep things simple. And I'm going to concentrate more on the performance. If we get the performance from the players, normally you get the win. That's what I'll focus on.
And McLaren says he was impressed with what he saw from the players in training this week.
I like the spirit. I like the energy. I like them smiling. They enjoy being around each other. I like the training because they've put everything into the training session, the intensity, the desire to work. That's what I've liked. We've tried to introduce one or two things. I think we need to keep things simple. The style of play had success. I want to keep that. I want to keep the foundation, keep the basics, keep what they've had for the last 2 years, where they've developed, and as Simon says, third in the Nations League. We want to continue that, but also we want to improve it. So I'm here to help the players go to the next step, the next level, in which we can, stay number one in the Caribbean, but also, let's get up the rankings in CONCACAF. And the ultimate goal, which is World Cup qualification in 26.
National senior football team coach Steve McLaren. And Jamaica's Women's Premier League champions Fraser's Whip suffered a second consecutive defeat in the CONCACAF Women's Champions Cup. They were beaten 5-0 by the home side Monterrey of Mexico last night after losing their opening game 5-0 to Alajuelense from Costa Rica. And the Jamaicans arrived in Mexico looking for their first point. Clearly didn't get it. The Mexicans were winning for the first time this campaign. Marcela Restrepo with a brace and Lucia Garcia, Carol Carrales, and captain Rebecca Bernal were the goal scorers from Monterrey.
To Lucia Garcia, into the 18, here she comes, blazing forward, Garcia tucks it in the corner. What a run and what a finish from Lucia Garcia. Curled up, back pose, header, yes! Cazares, it's 2-0, Monterrey. Loses a defender, header, another tally. Monterrey makes it 3-0. Off the cross, nice little move, top of the box, left-footed shot. Yes, another one for Monterrey. And again, it's Restrepo. A brace for Marcela Restrepo. Nifty move by Martinez. Gives it away. Bernal finishes. 5-0.
Fraser's Whip will welcome another Mexican side, Tigres Unal, on September 18. That game will be played in Jamaica. National 400 meters hurdler Rashawn Clark says he hopes to improve on his personal best when he competes in Brussels, the final stop on the Diamond League circuit for 2024, and that will be on September 14. That's next week, Saturday. Clark has a lifetime best of 47.34 seconds set while finishing fourth in the World Championships in Budapest last year. The 2022 World Under-20 champion made the comment after winning the men's 400 hurdles in 47.49 seconds at the Diamond League stop in Zurich yesterday, and it was his first Diamond League victory.
My goal is to go there, run my race, run as best as possible, and try to come out with even a personal best in my last race for the season.
That's Rashawn Clark. Antigua and Barbuda Falcons beat the Trinbago Knight Riders by 6 runs to register their first win of the 2024 Caribbean Premier League at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium last night. Batting first, the Falcons made 176 for 6 in their 20 overs. Imad Wasim made 46, Fakar Zaman 38, Justine Greaves 37, and Fabian Allen was unbeaten on 25. Sunil Narayan and Wakar Salamakil bagged 2 wickets apiece. And in response, the Knight Riders made 170 for 9 in their 20 overs. Opener Andres Goose made 39, Shakir Paris 31, Casey Carty 34, and the captain Karen Pollard weighed in with 30. Allen took 3 for 23, and Roshan Primus bagged the 2 wickets. Cricket West Indies thanked Graham West for his 12 years of service to the organization and to West Indies teams. West joined CWI on June 1, 2012 as the head coach of the High Performance Centre at Cayville in Barbados and departs his current role of High Performance Manager on September 30, 2024. During West's 12 years of service to Cricket West Indies, he spent 5 years based at the High Performance Centre in Barbados and 7 years based at the Cricket West Indies headquarters at Coolidge Ground in Antigua. Now, as the West Indies under-19 men's head coach from 2016 to 2020. His key achievement was leading the team to World Cup success in 2016. As West Indies A-team head coach from 2016 to 2018, he won series against Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. And as the high-performance manager, Graham was instrumental in establishing the new men's and women's academy programs at the CCG and the new 12-month under-19 pathway programs. The Kansas City Chiefs made a winning start to their NFL title defense as the Baltimore Ravens had a touchdown overturned as the game expired. The Chiefs, who are aiming to become the first team to win 3 Super Bowls on the spin, led 27-20 as the Ravens got the ball back with 2 minutes remaining. Lamar Jackson led the Ravens to the Chiefs' 10-yard line with less than 30 seconds, and they had 3 shots at the end zone. Now, the first 2 passes were incomplete, and the third was caught by Isaiah Likely as the back of the end zone and awarded as a touchdown. Ravens coach John Harbaugh signaled for his team to go for a 2-point conversion to win the game rather than kick the extra point to take it to OT. But replays show that Likely landed with a toe on the end line and the score was ruled out, allowing the Kansas City crowd, including Travis Kelce's girlfriend Taylor Swift, to celebrate the victory. The 2024 season opener was a repeat of last season's AFC Championship game, and it means the Chiefs, they've won 5 of their 6 meetings with the Ravens since their quarterback Patrick Mahomes and Jackson came into the league. And that will do it for your midday sports report here on Nationwide 90 FM. Sports is going to be back on this station at 5:25 this afternoon. Until then, I'm Wayne Walker. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
On Sunday, August 11th, in the quiet community of Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon, our entire nation was shaken by a brutal act of violence.
Gangsters mercilessly took the lives of 8 innocent Jamaicans, including a 7-year-old boy.
These criminals will strike again, destroying more families and more communities, unless we stand together to stop them.
If you have any information that can help bring these killers to justice, please share it with the security forces.
The government has established a reward fund of $25 million for information leading to the arrest and charge of
the perpetrators who committed this heinous act,
the facilitators who supplied them with arms, intelligence, and transportation,
and those who harbor and protect these criminals after the crime.
If you know something, please say something. Call Crime Stop at 311, Mocha at 888-6622-847, NIB at 811, or JDF at 837-8888.
Together, we will defeat the gangs
and develop a culture of peace in our country.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
To recap our top stories making the world at noon, man shot and killed at school gate in Christiana Friday morning was on bail for 2018 murder of child. PNP caretaker for Northeast Manchester urges residents to take Christiana back from criminals.
We want Christiana to return to the peaceful town that we're accustomed for it to be, a quiet and law-abiding town.
Northeast St. Anne by-election set to cost close to $30 million.
Most so because of the size of the constituency, the number of police stations, the number of persons that have to engage, etc. So given that size, so we're looking at close to $30 million.
And former PNP President Dr. Peter Phillips supports his party's decision to abstain from the by-election. I'm Robianne Williams. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. Major news next at 5. Good afternoon.
Since 2016, 156,000 more Jamaicans are working. This is more than any other time in our history. Your government is caring for you.
The time brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister is
12:32.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really clip you, Stalky?
Tune in, turn up the volume and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beaniman. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Clip News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Our phone numbers are 630-9371, 630-9372, 630-9373, 630-9374, and 618-8255.
My hands were steady, my eyes were clear and bright. My walk had purpose, my steps were quick and light, and I held firm to what I felt was right, like a rock, like a rock.
Welcome back. Top of the afternoon to you. This is the afternoon session of Cliff Hughes Online. Not a very long run. We close out at 1 o'clock. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. The first caller online is Chris on the return. Chris, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am. How are you?
Not too shabby for a middle-aged guy. And you're good?
I am very well, thank you, sir. But I hear you're struggling to figure out the connection between the General Secretary of the PNP and his knowledge as to how things unfold at the IC.
I don't know. You heard me struggling about that. And before you offer what you know, I'm going to ask you to be careful so you don't get either of us in any legal trouble.
Oh man, it's not a matter of trouble. I'm just
No,
saying to you.
but you know, I've cautioned you, so just be judicious, please.
Oh yes, we have always been. But the question I want to ask Tyrone, is there any member of the commission that in their previous engagement would have been associated with any of the two political parties?
Yes, there is, and I have always had a problem with that. A matter of fact, I think it was Mr. Warmington who raised questions about it.
That's correct.
It was Everett Warmington, and I think he took quite some flack for it. And quite frankly, it's one of the very few times, not very few times, because Mr. Warmington has some issues, some points that I agree with, because his view on how much we pay these commissioners is also something I support. There is no way that a person with that employment antecedent should have been employed to the Integrity Commission. I absolutely agree with Everett Warmington. It should never have happened.
All right. Secondly, and I agree with you on that, Tyrone. The other question I would ask yourself and the society on a whole: Jamaica needs an Integrity Commission. There's no if, ands, or but about it. It's one of the institutions that we should not exist as a country without, because it really provides the guardrail, to prevent us from going over the cliff where corruption is concerned. Question is it factual that a member of the Integrity Commission was, in parentheses, robbed outside the gate and, if I'm not mistaken, shot?
He was robbed and shot.
And if that is the case, let me ask you, if you put that scenario to a politician, if a politician was robbed outside his constituency office with a briefcase with money, I want to say a briefcase load of money because we still don't know what the amount was and what it was for. But if a politician were to be robbed outside his constituency office and shot, and a briefcase of money came into play, how do you think that would play out? How would you report on that as a journalist? How do you think society would view it?
The same way you would report on anyone, because the rules of fairness and ethics apply to all, The very same way you report it. And you would also have to leave the police to do their investigations and to establish if this person can account for the cash that they have in this bag. He did, in fact, was coming from a financial institution, I think it was reported. Those were the allegations, I think, where he withdrew the funds and he was being watched is what was being theorized, and then he was attacked and the money stolen from him.
I don't know, Tyrone, I couldn't speak to that, but I'm just putting the scenario to you and to the rest of the public.
No, I don't know that, someone having that amount of cash on them in and of itself is illegal.
Well, I don't know, because
I don't know that we should make anything of it. The police, it was a police matter. They would have necessarily looked at it, or we hope they would have looked at where the cash was coming from and if it was legit or not, and that would take care of that. If the police didn't raise any issues about that, I don't think we should either.
No, Tyrone. The police did say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did the police not say they were not able to continue the investigation because the individual who was involved did not provide a report?
Yeah, some difficulty in getting them to come to provide information. I did recall hearing a news clip, a news item to that end. You are absolutely right. That was said. But no, if you are trying to invest, that wasn't the point I was addressing, though. I was addressing the legitimacy of the funds, which is what I think you were driving at, right, Chris?
To some extent, because
right, and I'm saying that was never brought into question.
Right, but Tyrone, I don't know if legitimacy of funds you can chalk it up to the amount, the quantity, because $20,000 could be illegal. It depends on how it was garnered. So it doesn't matter if it's $1 million, $2 million, or $20,000. It is how, it is what it was used for, that sort of thing. So I don't want to get too caught up with the amount of money to determine whether or not it was illicitly gained or it was legal. I don't know. But what I think the Jamaican society needs to know and needs to be told, we need to know what is the nature of that investigation. Because had it been a politician in this exact same scenario, it would have been treated differently. It would have been treated differently. And not to stray away from what we started out.
Certain people are newsmakers doing Chris, and it's just part and parcel of how things go. It's like the old adage in journalism that says, if a dog bites a man, that's not a news story. But if a man bites a dog, then that becomes a news item. So sometimes it depends on the actors, of course, the newsworthiness of it turns on that. So perhaps if it was a politician, then those questions would necessarily come up. And of course, it feeds into the trust deficit that exists between politicians and the people as well, if something like that were to unfold.
But Tyrone, think about it though. You're not talking about an average Jamaican, You're talking about the Integrity Commission. These guys are the vanguard. These guys are put in place to ensure that everything is crossed.
Well, you already mashed down that straw man, Chris, when you said that having the money on you is not a crime in and of itself. And once you can account for the cash.
We can't say that. I don't think we're in a position to say that. Because remember I told you that the amount of money you have on you doesn't determine whether or not it's a crime.
So what is your issue that the person had the money then? Why should it be a big deal that he had the money?
I don't know where it's coming from. And had it been me, I would have explained it.
With me, you don't know, but the authorities that are empowered to investigate it never raised an issue about it.
Employ, the authorities who answer to me, the Jamaican public, are to let us know. So
perhaps so you're saying that the police needs to come forward and say whether or not they looked into how we came by the cash.
Yes, absolutely. I think
that's a different argument.
And while I was at that, I was saying to you that based on the analogy I drew earlier, where you and I agree that there are members of the IC who had previous engagement with one of the
member we know of. I don't know that they are members.
Member. Let's just leave it at member. And
yes, and I agree that that person should not have been employed there.
Yeah, and what,
given his employment antecedents, he should never have been employed there. I agree with that. So you must avoid the very appearance of a conflict at an institution as critical as and it doesn't matter the role he's playing, because I gather an explanation was given that the role he's playing, he doesn't make certain decisions, but it does not. The optics matters when it comes to fighting against corruption, and I agree with you. And I think it was former Minister Everett Warmington, MP Warmington, who made that point, and I think it is a reasonable point to be made.
Yes. So I just wanted to find out, because I know when you were talking earlier, you were trying to figure out the connection there, and for me, that to me is a legitimate.
No, and that's what I'm going to try to stop you from doing, because you don't have any evidence that is how the General Secretary got the information, if in fact he got anything, if he wasn't talking off the top of his head. What he has said, I think, requires further interrogation, though. And it makes me very uncomfortable the day before the reports arrive that he can say that. Mm-hmm. That makes me very nervous, I must tell you.
Yes. Yes.
Because this Integrity Commission is set up to investigate all and sundry, including Dr. Dayton Campbell. Mm-hmm. Yes, as a public official. Yeah, when he was a member of Parliament. I'm not certain if he would fall within that band as Gensec. I doubt that, but I think he also sits on the Electoral Commission. I think the General Secretaries usually do, if my memory is serving me correctly. So for a body that is set up to be that in single entity designed to really, or the leading entity, pardon me, in the fight against corruption, and it should put on both sides of the political divide. It makes me very nervous that he would offer those remarks so close to to the reports being delivered. I'm not comfortable with that at all.
And the report was just 24 hours away.
That makes me very. It could be a coincidence. I don't know, but I'm very uncomfortable with that. And the JLP should ask questions about that as well.
How do we fix this problem, my brother? As a country,
I can tell you that. First of all, we need to establish why Dr. Dade Campbell had that information, what he knew, how much he knew. Yes. And I think he went as far as to say that the Prime Minister would have to call the general election when the report comes. Is what I think he said. Nora, we don't need to guess. Nora, please play the clip for me again so we can be sure. Because also what he offered about the response to the report, if it is in line with what he's saying, that also is something that needs to be questioned.
Yes.
Nora, you can play that one for us.
The general election is going to be called shortly, right? We know that there are investigations that are taking place, that the reports will come shortly. We see what is taking place in the country with food prices, with all the other problems that are going on.
Let us go back a bit though, Dr. Campbell, because you said something that I want clarity on and we're running out of time. You indicated that reports will come shortly. How do you know that? Do you have sources inside the Integrity Commission advising you?
I do not have any sources more than you would have. I am simply using...
But how did you come to that conclusion then that reports will be coming shortly?
Well, they told me that Jesus soon come back. That's 2,000 years ago. So when I say reports will soon come, I didn't put a date on it, did I?
No, but you seem to be almost certain that this is going to happen between now and the next general election.
That Christ will return. I am certain that Christ will return.
Dr. Campbell, come on. You're saying shortly. Anyone would know what shortly means, Dr. Campbell.
I'm saying that those reports will come. That's what I'm saying.
No, further interrogation, Chris. Because in listening back to it, I'm wondering if he was linking the two things: the calling of the elections and the timing of the report. It's boy,
he was
Dr. Campbell. Dr. Campbell is. I'm not. Let me leave that alone. But that makes me, uncomfortable. I think there are questions that need to be asked. Yes, Chris.
Well, I want to leave you with one thing, Tyrone, is that if the situation that exists at the Integrity Commission, where those persons are at the highest level in the society, and we do need those persons in place, but if it is that what occurred at their office in terms of the robbery and all of that good stuff, and if it is that it was factual that the person involved refused
inside on the compound,
yes,
did it
somewhere thereabout. But if it is factual also that the individual refuses to give a statement to the police, as was reported, then I find it difficult that said organization would still be vested with the powers to ask me or you or any public figure to provide them with a report or to answer to any question. If it is that you cannot clean your house, I don't think you have the authority to clean mine.
No, sir. No, sir. Argument doesn't follow, sir.
No?
The argument absolutely does not follow. You are bound by law to respond to the Integrity Commission if you hold public office.
Okay.
Yes? Someone who has been robbed, who is the victim, can decide whether or not they want to cooperate with the police. Whatever their motivations are. Yes? Whatever their motivations are. So you decide if you want to break the law on the strength of someone who works at the Integrity Commission deciding that the victim in this case don't want to or cooperate with the police or are not willing to give the information being asked for by the police. And to suggest then that gives other people the right not to respond to the Integrity Commission. Can't accept that argument.
But Tyrone, at least though, at best, can I say to you though, that...
And someone in our chat is saying the gentleman did eventually give a report. Yeah?
Yes,
the gentleman did eventually give a report.
And that
is what it's being said here.
If he eventually did give a report, that's a good thing. But the mere fact...
Yeah, but your argument, though, is weak, is what I want you to accept, Chris. You can't make that argument at all.
But Tyrone, if you're a police officer and you're breaking the law, what example are you setting for me?
That does not mean, you see, let me put it in the simplest way I can. Because I think this is a very, and not simple because I don't think you're getting what I'm saying, but simple because it fits right now. Very simple, you should get the point that I'm saying. Two wrongs
don't make a right.
All right. You see what I'm saying? I know you would have catch on as and what you are arguing is for what you deem to be a wrong to be met with a wrong.
No. Tyrone, I wouldn't chalk it up to that. I wouldn't say that person should not respond. But I'm just simply saying that the same law that if I run the red light and get a traffic ticket for $50,000, if the police officer run that red light and get a traffic ticket, he should get a traffic ticket for $50,000 too. Unless he is about his lawful business, unless he has legal grounds to stand on. So unless the Integrity Commission person was transporting or was handling money that was within his job, then I can understand that. Because if I were to call the Integrity Commission today and to tell them that a public official, I saw him at his gate with a briefcase of money, and I suspect that this man is, handling some money that is, illicitly gained, it warrants an investigation. That's based on how the IC bill is crafted.
Illicitly gained. Hold on. What was illicitly gained? What are you suggesting?
I'm saying if I suspect that. If I suspect that a politician or a public official is handling money or resources that I, as an individual in this country, just have a feeling that he is not up to par, not above board, that in of itself gives me the right to call the Integrity Commission, correct? Isn't that what they said?
You're stretching though, because that was never an issue concerning this. The IC employee was the victim of a crime.
Yes.
How he came about his money was never the central focus of the investigation.
Tyrone.
So which is why I'm saying, you're not being fair in your assessment of the matter, and I think the conclusions you're drawing are therefore unfair.
All right, Tyrone. I'm going to say
and unfounded as well.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to agree to disagree on that one. I believe that the Integrity Commission, I think the police needs to give us a full report, because had it been any other person in that position, especially politicians, it would have been ventilated and the public would have had an opportunity to come to their own conclusion and not speculate.
Right. Look how long this matter with the Prime Minister took to be ventilated.
Well, I guess...
from 2021 until now? From the 2021 declarations until now?
Yes.
We don't solve problems in this country, my good
sir. We're hoping, Tyrone, that whenever this...
We like to romanticize problems.
We're also hoping, Tyrone, that whenever the Prime Minister's declaration is certified or the report comes out, the Integrity Commission will also attach to that an explanation as to why it took so long.
Well, they did say they've submitted the report, the findings, and also the indicative ruling as well, components of that. So hopefully we'll avoid another cock-up like what happened when he was accused of conflict of interest, and they had the indicative ruling saying the matter shouldn't be pursued. And look, the Integrity Commission needs a complete overhaul, I think, and rebranding. We perhaps need new commissioners. And we just need to give it a new look.
Yeah, man.
Perhaps some of the people there in some of the critical positions need to, eventually be replaced, because a lot of people are looking on and they're losing confidence in the Integrity Commission, and that's not good for Jamaica.
And we need it, Tyrone. We need such an entity in Jamaica. We need it to hold our feet to the fire and to prevent us from plunging over the precipice where corruption is concerned. So I'm hoping that the report will come and it will start to put this whole matter to rest. I'm hoping though that while the PNP have been very active where that is concerned, I'm hoping that when this matter is put to rest, I'm wondering what is it that is going to come. I guess after this we will now get an understanding as to what sort of plan the PNP has for Jamaica. Because the last couple of years, the only plan we have is Illicit 6 and statutory declaration. So I'm hoping that with this going coming to a close now, we will finally now get a manifesto, get an understanding as to what the PNP can do for Jamaica if they were to ever be elected to office.
People in the chat who are saying you're the chairman of the St. James High School. Is that true?
I beg your pardon, sir?
Is that true?
Beg your pardon, sir?
There are people in the chat who are saying you are Christopher McCurdy, the chairman of the St. James High School. Is that true?
So that's what they're saying.
Are you?
They could be right. They could be right.
So I'm happy you're here because I have a question for you, Mr. McCurdy. I'm actually happy that you called.
No, but I call you on a separate
matter. Man. You're free to not respond if you don't want to switch the thing. But I have one question for you, though.
One question. Yes.
You're going to resign if you don't have this principal dismissed, because it's in your remit to do this. Are you going to resign? I really don't think this principal should continue, given all of what we know, and if these are the facts that he has dismissed these 4 teachers without the involvement of the board. If you don't manage to secure his resignation, are you prepared to resign?
Well, the least I'll say to you on that matter, Tyrone, since I did not call you on that.
And I can understand. I respect that. I respect that. If you don't want to answer, I respect that.
That I will say to you, the next 72 hours is going to be interesting. So let's watch and see what happens. Huh?
I'm watching, Mr. McCurdy. I'm watching, and I heard you detail how difficult it has been for you. And while I am somewhat sympathetic, yes, the rules are what they are, and the board has the power to do certain things. And as chairman, the buck ultimately stops with you, Mr. McCurdy, and you need to take action in this matter.
I agree with you 100%. And I know you will appreciate sometimes the difficulty that comes with these sort of decision when you have a board to deal with. If it was left up to me, if it was my signature alone, we would have dealt with this situation perhaps a year ago, because this is nothing new for us. However,
absolutely appreciate that, but you need to take the bull by the horn, Mr. Chairman.
And we have taken the bull by the horn.
And those teachers who can't, some of whom I gather are being barred from entering, you need to have the police escort them back to their jobs. We can't just have one person holding up the entire system, holding the entire system hostage.
There you go, sir.
That can't be acceptable. That can't be acceptable, Mr. McCurdy.
I agree with you.
But we will be watching. We will be watching, and I look forward to what will happen over the next 72 hours. Thank you so very much, Mr. McCurdy. We have to leave it there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Indeed. All right, that's where we have to leave it for today's TGIF edition of Cliff Hughes Online. We want to thank our producers, Nora Gay Banton, and of course, Sonia Stewart, who assisted as well, the affable Sonia Stewart, and our technical operator, Kevin Williams, and of course, all the members of the news and production team. I'm Tyrone Reid saying have a great weekend. Up next, you will hear the Oasis with the Reverend Lloyd Gale, and after that, it's all things entertainment until we get to the major news at 5. Have a good one.
You've just heard Cliff Hughes Online with Tyrone Reid on Nationwide 90 FM.
Like a rock. Recycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all cannot